Jabs his life, though. So PSG.LGD, they continue to find the majority of kills so far, 3 for 1. Zeal, he stepped up. One way Smile, see if he can get him out of this one, but 23 wrapping around. Heal with the missed coil. Zeal still alive. The final blast from Q will end it.
What a back and forth trade.
Heal with the missed coil. They lose Jabs, but yeah, able to sort of secure both Nothing to Say and Zeal towards the end of the fight. Talon, they're still finding these big core kills, and of course in this action, 23 turning up, staying alive, 3-1 and 8. He's still getting a lot out of these early plays.
It's big kills. They are shutting down Zeal a lot though, and the one thing is NTS, he does get a couple recover kills, and Shiro, he actually does survive throughout all of it on this Alchemist. So he is getting closer and closer toward Radiance. It's a good fight. It's a beautiful tumblers. Did you see that? Like, it's pretty much again Blink Dagger. Jumps down to the river, pulls him into tower. But the Alchemist does survive, which is the big important thing then on the side of PSG.LGD.
I'm back in action though, Talon, they get back on with the push. They'll take out that third and final tier 1 tower. So still hitting these timings, 13 minutes in when they've been able to take all of those, and of course back on their side of the map, you know, they're yet to lose any towers here against PSG.LGD. Radiance timing, it's done. It's done.
I mean, it's not a 9-minute Radiance like Pakaz got, of course, but they're under so much pressure with the way the Talon's moving fast. And Jabs, hey, he's going very greedy, to be honest with you. Jabs has gone Echo Saber. So Vanguard treads Echo Saber on this Magnus.
I mean, he's a greedy kind of build that we've come to expect from Jabs. But we'll see if it works out.
We'll see
you know, kind of going for this. It does feel like sometimes in the Talon games, the sort of the lack of auras or the slowed down speed in which they come online can hurt them sometimes with their style.
5K lead still off to an amazing start, but they got to keep that pressure going. LGD's recovery outlet is very fast. When they're playing with an Alchemist and Tinker, these two heroes farm absurdly quick. Keep getting that pressure forward, because there's going to be some big timings, of course, that come out. From this Tinker, he has been massively slowed down, but it is that hero that just completely destroys a Terrorblade if he's able to get onto the same level as him. And, you know, NTS, even though he had a rough lane, he is 5-2. Shivas will make it very difficult for a lot of these heroes to fight. Good aggressive plays. Talon. Got to keep it up. Get the catch. Should be able to find this Abaddon.
Yeah, they should be able to get him through the borrowed time.
And the glimpse.
Yeah, they'll drag him back into the clutches of 23.
Give it a 23.
Oh, TP though.
Oh,
Oh
my God.
He nearly got out of that one.
He bonked him a bit too far up. But either way, they get the kill. Manta finished up for 23, level 11.
Any chance of looking for an early Roche with Talon's lineup, or not really something that they're geared up to do yet?
They absolutely, they can. The thing is, LGD will probably look for going into that fight too. Zeal is very strong, even though he is very fragile. It's all about just if he gets the ult off early. Terrorblade can focus down some of the Brewlings, but he also just has a lot of different ways to just control this TB. As long as he gets ult off, he'll be able to wipe the illusions with his cleanse. Or the dispel, whichever one you want to call it. If he's able to get on top of them and throw them in the air, can cause issues. So Talon sitting back a little bit, trying to get some farm here, but it's giving time to LGD to catch back up.
Wait a smile. Forward time still on cooldown. He's going to be able to get out in time with the kinetic field. They'll tell him the H is still the Mystic Flare, and they'll just destroy Ollie.
He's trying to, I mean, that's a bit of an over-aggressive move there from Talon. Can't even get the kill on the Abaddon. They don't even finish off the Ancient stack. He just brought it low.
Yeah, whilst Talon were able to get that early lead, the momentum's certainly starting to get slowed down. The sort of 5K lead, it's been hovering around this point, and the game's stabilizing and could indeed be a bit of a concern considering the strengths of PSG.LGD's draft overall against Talons.
I want to see what Jabs decides to commit for. He's got 2,500 gold.
I think he's probably thinking if he wants to get the blink.
I think so.
It's
okay.
Just going to go for the BKB, so completely building for himself it. Which, yeah, absolutely, it could pay off. If he can get in and get that RP, it could be huge, but at the same time, which, absolutely, pointing out with the draft, if you're going all in on trying to just get in and pop RP, if it gets countered by a cute Abaddon play, it's going to feel kind of rough.
And then it's putting a lot of pressure on Mikoto to always get the jumps as well, too. Yes, they have the glimpse and everything for displacement, but yeah, I mean, Jabs tends to do this sometimes. Wants to get a little bit more farm. But yeah, LGD, the recovery. See it's starting to kick in. Alchemist Shiro. He almost has BKB.
I'm going to say, if it sort of continues at this sort of slowed down pace, I think PSG.LGD will be very, very happy.
Why? Sneaking around, somehow gets away, gets a ward, so he's prepping for that Roche potential soon. We'll be shifting position, of course, in about 2 minutes. Yeah, looks like BKB done for Shiro. Probably going to wait for multiple timings to come out on the side of LGD. I think the Shivas is getting closer and closer. How's Brew's levels? Okay, he probably won't be able to get the level 12 before a fight kicks out, but they're going to be hitting a pretty good timing here for them if they want to fight back into all this. 23 still massive. That is the one big thing, but yeah, you can definitely see LGD, they're finding outlets to farm in the map and not get pressured as much.
Absolutely, yeah. One of the strengths of with this new map and being a Tinker, just so many places to go.
There's so much farm. It doesn't matter. Like, sometimes it's like, oh, you're building like 3 greedy kind of things. There's so many places you can do it.
Yeah. It's always such an investment if you want to kind of gear up as a team and go on a hunt for this Tinker. Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
It's fight time, at least for the Alchemist. BKB's ready. They can start setting up for some moves here, and I think Planet has. Okay, he actually has a full Solar Crest on this Skywrath. Saw Tara's do this build as well. It's very strong.
And yeah, Jabs is going all in. He wants the harpoon.
What? Okay.
I mean,
it's versus Tinker.
I like it.
But there are going to be barriers.
Kind of Magnus,
just got to remember,
my kind of Magnus doesn't necessarily win games. But it's fun to watch. So Jabs, he's ready to carry the team. That's the strat here.
Yeah, definitely an interesting approach. We'll be able to, of course, I mean, he's good versus these range kind of heroes and stuff like that, but have to remember there's going to be barriers. So this Tinker, he's going to get shielded. Yeah. He's going to be self-barriered as well, too, in a lot of instances.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if sort of the aggressive build works out for Jabs rather than sort of building, you know, kind of the auras and things to try and keep his team alive against, stuff like the Tinker. They just don't sort of have their own. Got any Greaves or Pipes or anything?
No.
Not on Talon.
No, they're going double Glimmers on the supports, which will be nice in a way for the Terrorblade, but
Glimmer's big.
And they are prepared for this fight up here. Shiro, who said BKB at the ready. Talon, everyone's here.
Let's see if they can get this fight going, Talon. 23. I'll start with the meta. Look towards Planet. Coach being cooked up by Shiro. See them turn towards Planet. Planet still alive. They'll finally bring him down. Jabs in with the BKB. Able to put an end to the Skywrath. Primal splits there from Zealous. Will push back Q.
LGD doesn't like this one. They're resetting. The Brew's just dying.
Oh, they're going to find why you smile in the trees. So Talon, they've got the 2 supports out of this. Maybe they can get Zeal as well.
Looks like they should.
As his split comes to an end.
Good preparation.
Skewer back from Jabs. They get the 3 of them.
Talon.
Well held there by Talon. And honestly, the BKB very much working nicely for Jabs. He's just able to pop it, get in, and just punch down the supports.
Yeah, actually looks amazing, that one. And now they can set up for the Roche. Swap sides. They may catch NTS here. Bit close. The perfect jump. I mean, they catch Planet slipping a little bit there. He steps up a bit far. They full initiate and come in onto the Skywrath. And the Primal Split, it's only level 1. So at this point, they can focus fire it with that TV in position.
Yeah, I mean, see, yeah, just honestly great front line for Jabs. Skewers in, immediately couple of hits, punches out. Planet.
He actually hurts quite a bit. Like, look how much he was doing to the Brew.
You know, this is the great thing about this build. You punch hard. You punch like a truck at this sort of stage of the game, just 20 minutes in with this Echo Saber BKB. It's very annoying for these supports.
And they prepped for this move also. They have Ward Vision already down bottom. Double Wards being set up, and yeah, they'll finish off the Roast 23. Yeah. Being enabled.
And it looks like we are going to get a bit, but Jabs, he's going to go back for the pipe.
Okay. Blink forward. Double stun to the support.
Ninja still dropped it. 23. He's actually opted to TP out of this, and you know what? He's going to get away.
Like it.
They can't put a stop to it. Jabs, he's out as well. And as talked about before, they don't have a lot of options when it comes to stuns, PSG.LGD, so TP scrolls, they're your best friend if you're Talon.
Shiro couldn't finish off the Coddle. He got the stun actually on both supports instantly, but didn't have quite enough to finish him with the Force Staff and the Glimmer on Coddle. Good retreat there from Talon, not wanting to take the fight without meta. Back to getting the farm going. 23.
Well, I think Jabs, he's on the hunt for the Wisdom Rune, right?
They got Planet.
Is that Wisdom Rune still there? It is. Easy Wisdom Rune for Jabs. Thank you very much.
It was like, I'll keep scaling. Thank you very much, team. My DK is playing more sacrificial, so I'm going to be another core.
I mean, yeah, I'd say like...
NTS blinks on top of Jabs. Jabs is going for it.
I mean, he's going to have to run. Now, they won't be able to kill him, though. Like that... There's no killing this Magnus, that's for sure, especially when he's got BKB up.
That's straight confidence, though. I like it.
He could go where he wants, honestly.
He's playing super aggressive.
He is. So far, I feel like the early game very much sort of carried by Makoto, and now, Jabs, this is his part of the game.
Absolutely.
This Magnus is definitely a problem right now for PSG.LGD.
Him in 23. Super farmed. Zeal is very far behind still, 1-7 as the Brewmaster, but has hit level 12.
Sure.
So does have that level 2 Primal Split. It'll be quite a bit stronger. I believe was the level 2 one the one that got buffed? I think it was just a level 1-1. Yeah, it was just a level 1-1 most of the cup. Either way, it's a lot tankier now at this point. But Talon, yeah, keeping it up. Looking good.
Jabs, yeah, we closing in on the pipe. Just a ring of health short. So a good sort of a best of both worlds build really here on the Magnus game.
Yeah, I like it.
And with that, I think it's going to get close to the point where I think Talon's going to seriously consider trying to push the high ground. You know, when you get the pipe out on your Magnus, you've got the Skadi pick up on 23. They're strong.
They are. They have a lot of sustain,
They're going to want to try and force this quite a bit.
Yep. With the Coddle behind, they have a ton of sustain. And also, in the meantime, while they've been playing super aggressive, I've been watching Ollie. He's gathering Lotuses, Owen. He's got a greater healing Lotus. So it's quite a bit that it does do. It's like this mini cheese that's going to come out onto some of these cores.
Sure.
Really good aggressive plays. And yeah, Skadi's done. They might have a timing here to force a little bit.
I think so.
Just don't overforce it. Just poke, force heroes back, and then get out. But maybe not something you ideally really want to do versus a Tinker sometimes. So it looks like maybe they will back up and just keep going the farm.
I think
Illusion's going to get some push, though.
I think they want to go. It's only going to get harder to push high ground. You want to go now.
Let's see. The Kodo, thinking about it.
I don't know if the high ground siege is going to get any easier this game. I feel like at this point there's a bit of a sweet spot.
But Owen, this is, Talon sometimes tells himself, they're probably like, okay guys, like,
well, let's take this game to 60 minutes.
Take it easy, like, we want to take a late game, but let's see, 23, he wants to poke it, okay.
You have to. The correct call there for 23.
Forces the Tinker back.
You want to get something going here. You want your team pushing with you. Get something done with this Aegis. You do not want to go late against this Tinker.
Let's see if they can find NTS at all. Tower drops. Still 90 seconds.
Force out the fortification. I think still with this Aegis, stick around, especially with the meta still going. No need to back off. Got to try and get everything that you can here.
Might be able to finish it. And they will.
And they do. Now see if the PSG can punish it, but indeed the Static Storm there immediately responds. He gets in, but the silence laid down by Ollie trips him up. He's gone. YESmile as well, taken down. Not only getting the racks here, Talon, but reacting perfectly there. Indeed, the tips coming out for Ollie as he was prepared for that brew attempt.
That was we need to see. That was instant. That was the first reveal. Like Zeo, I think he tried to trip them up, getting this Blink Dagger to get on top of him. Ollie, what a reaction. They
prepared for that brew attempt. Got 2 dead. Talon, yeah, they've just itemized perfectly for sort of this 25-minute attempt to just really push the advantage.
Jab's doing the disassemble for this pipe. It's massive. And now he's got Harpoon, too.
Now he's big.
It's dying. Another Rax. Perhaps the fall.
We'll see if Seal and Nothing to Say can find anything here on the defense. Double buybacks coming out from YESmile and Planet. They'll start to try push back Talon. 23 still got the Aegis, but it's going to expire in 5 seconds. Aegis is now gone.
I mean, Jabs is doing some cool plays attempts with these Harpoons. I mean, he catched a godly one there.
At 30 seconds, no Shira.
No split.
Back on with the push, Talon.
Meta's back up in 10-0, and
they keep going.
They're doing it. Talon, another jump.
In. They get the jump on Zeal. Aphotic Shield's there from YESmile, but Zeal, he's going to get dragged back by the Glimpse. He's out as well, no buyback.
Another Harpoon screw.
He's going to get a drag back on YESmile as well. Borrowed times there, but only for a few seconds as it comes to an end. So does YESmile's life. He's out of the game. Talon, they've got to keep this push going. They're looking to close it up.
I mean, they're so strong
here.
This is unbelievable plays here. Talon, such confidence, the jumps. Jabs again, Harpoon skewer.
Another grab.
Okay,
Shiro just legit. Straight back into the Static Storm.
GG.
They've done it. GG is called.
Wow.
I think that's the best Dota we've seen Talon player at this major. That was from the laning stage to the build-up with the items. As always a lot of eyes on Jabs. It was perfect this game. It worked out perfectly. The BKB Vanguard Echo gets him fighting, picks up the pipe, and then getting this Harpoon at the end. It was just a game ender. You step up, he drags you in, skewers you back, shuts you down, and everything else around him. Ollie with those clutch Static Storms, 23 with the TB timings on his farm. This was just great stuff from Talon, and this is one of the reasons why people say you got to watch this team.
It's best plays, and you know what it is? Little mistakes with absolute confidence. That's something that we've seen Talon sometimes struggle with. This game, that confidence was there. The jumps were perfect. Honestly, the Harpoon it pretty much was a Blink Dagger. That was actually so cool, those last few jumps that he got.
It really did.
And the confidence to push, itemization was great. They didn't even use the Greater Healing Lotus, and yeah, Wow, that was something spectacular.
It really was. Talon out on absolute fire. I mean, all 5 of their members. Yeah, Makoto from the laning stage to his early moves on his DK, fantastic. Q
Awesome
getting the
stuff.
Keeper of the Light, you know, one of the greatest supports heroes to have right now on your team, and he pushes it to the max, 5-1 and 15. Just great stuff all around. PSG.LGD completely shaken up, and despite some of the potential strengths of their draft, they just never really got to play it. Talon runs them over here in this game 1.
Harpoon Magnus coming to a pub near you. I can only imagine that we're going to see a lot more of that, because that looked incredibly fun and incredibly strong. It's Talon to take game number 1 here of this best-of-3 elimination series. And before the game started, we looked at the draft. My panel was unanimously going the way of PSG.LGD. Jenkins, what do you got to say for yourself?
That's right, Shiver. You know, on average, as analysts up here, we do have 3 TIs between us. So, you know, obviously we know what we're talking about, but nobody knows better than these teams that are currently competing, that are feeling the patch, that, you know, they feel like they have this idea of the game that is, you know, up to date with the meta. We saw the Harpoon on Jabs. We saw his build. Echo Saber, like, what is this guy doing? Where's the Crimson? Where's the pipe? Guess what? He doesn't need those things if he's harpooning the damn Alchemist out of the base, Shiver.
Yeah. No, it was a fun performance from Jabs, but we got to break this game down, because no, this was very strong. Like, Talon out of the gates, basically they won all lanes, felt like.
They won all lanes. The early game went to, it was messy. It was not at all what LGD needed and what they had hoped for. You pick this Brew Sky with the idea that you can enter a lane and you can, you know, keep harassing, keep applying pressure, and eventually you get your Brew 6, and that's going to turn into, you know, either a fight, a kill, a tower push, or something much more. I don't know what happened really for the lane top, as in like this whole early game, it just crumbled really quick. I think maybe the Slacks interview was too tilting or something. I don't really know, but I think if this game got replayed and the early game is a little bit more stable, you might see a lot more of what we saw in the bottom fight, where the Tinker and the Brew actually get to click their spells, and you see Talon with the lead, they have to retreat, and you know, they start getting picked off. There's some awkwardness still with the Abaddon Skywrath, you know, having the 1 stun or only an Alchemist stun. But yeah, like having the mid lane and your off lane go this poorly and get this pressured, I think at this point the drafts start mattering a lot less, as in you can make a lot more work with the heroes that you have. So yeah, I mean, big up to Talon, because I think it's I think it's also what this patch is about, you know, is before the lane spawn, you can start your win.
Yeah, if you can make something happen in that early, pre-game, I guess is what we can call it, it could, you know, sort of skew the laning matchup, right? If you feel like you're having a disadvantage and all of a sudden your carry gets first blood or your offlane gets first blood and he starts the game with, you know, he's halfway to Vanguard or something, like it matters a lot.
Do you guys think it's actually practical to like play for that? If you know that you've been drafted into like losing lanes, to go for some like early smoke, place a ward, and like try to get a kill to tilt the lanes in your favor? Is that actually worth playing for?
I think it's good as a team to do something together in pregame.
These numbers can't be right.
I mean, we say pre-game, right?
And maybe they're swapped.
I think they're swapped.
Might have deleted his items
Yeah,
or something like that.
His GPM definitely was a little bit higher than that.
But this is what we talked about. It's like the lane might not be in their favor at all, like theoretically, TB Disruptor versus Skywrath Brew. And if you can do something, you know, adding an extra hero there, or if you can do something before the lanes meet, Dota starts when Dota starts. It doesn't start when the when the runes spawn and lanes meet. It starts, you know, the second the game is on. And yeah, you should be playing then, you know? And if some team starts bullying you and starts, whatever, like shifting things into their advantage, that means you weren't ready for their play, you weren't ready for what they were going to do, so...
I like to think as like, when you're thinking about your laning phase, you need to think about what are the important things that are going to make sure that I win the lane. Sometimes you'll see like a support player go for, like the 4 player, go for the runes and like the safe lane, and then he's late to the off lane, for example. Like that could be the thing that, you know, tilts the lane in the enemy's favor. And if your draft was set on having success in that Panda versus Terrorblade matchup, all of a sudden your game plan is just thrown completely out of order.
You need to make sure that this works for you. And if something throws you off, or the enemy makes a play and you know, you fall for it, or they get what they want, well, yeah, you already lost the first battle, you know? Like Dota is a million small battles that eventually lead to something, and I think they couldn't afford to lose the first ones like this. You know, they really needed this Brewmaster to be able to stay on his lane, get level 6 before the TP, either shove him out or like kill him, get the tower, and get your own game going. I think he was surpassed by the Coddle like super early in net worth. Like, yeah, I don't know, this Brewmaster was not the showing that the Brew has potential for.
Q had an amazing game on his Keeper of the Light. He only died the once, which I think is already impressive when you're playing up against Tinker. We're gonna give the teams, of course, a little bit of a time to rest, and we're gonna also get some respite from the panel for a second because we're gonna check in with Slacks. What are you up to?
That's right. Hello, Sir Action Slacks, reporting live from the scene here. It is an incredible sight. I believe I am on the scene of a murder here today, a hit and run. Very quick. Talon is coming in. They're not only beating games, but they're also running in and out of the booth. You can see an innocent right there going into his booth. The crowd around here is absolutely unbelievable, Shiver. LGD looked pretty sad, did not move around a lot. And as Talon, I heard them making bird noises. That's right. We heard a lot of screech, ah! And they were all doing this to each other. It was absolute pandemonium down here. Reporting live from Berlin, Germany. Studio, any questions, anything that you'd like us to cover?
No, I think we've got it covered then.
Fantastic. Police are here. Paramedics are standing by for Game 2. Anything could happen. The situation continues to develop here in Berlin, Germany.
Thank you very much, Sir Action Slacks, who is on the floor right now, as Talon did indeed take the first lives of PSG.LGD. Will they take their tournament lives? So that's the question. Now, we are all about adaptation and moving forward. You gotta adapt. If anything, on a new patch, you have to adapt like every single game. So we want to see some adaptations as well for PSG.LGD. Where did they need to change things? Because it wasn't necessarily the draft, Peter, or was it?
I'm not messing around on this panel anymore. Hey, if I see any more hipster picks, I'm calling them out.
All right.
No more Abaddons. I don't even want to see Tinker. Like, I think you need this mid laner to initiate and start the fights for your team. The same way we've been seeing every other team that's having success in this tournament do it. If you, like, we saw them lose their lanes, they have like 2 carries who are trying to get back into it. There's just no way for them back in. And, I mean, you could go all in and say, like, hey, we're going to win our lanes. But if you don't, and your draft is set up this way, it's over.
I mean, I think the nicheness, I mean, you have a point. Like, there's a nicheness to it when you start switching out from the norm, and you have an Alchemist that you rely on starting the fight, and you also don't pick any good stunts on your supports, and you're doing this Brewmaster Tinker thing. It's super niche. I'm always in the favor of, like, you know, these strategies, if they're supposed to work in theory, it's up to you to, you know, execute. What Shiver's saying is, like, I don't think it's the draft necessarily. I think it's a plaything. If you put together a strategy like this, and you want to pull it off, you need to be on top of things. You need to be on top of, like, what it is that you need. This can't go wrong. This needs to snowball. Maybe the window's very small, but if you're supposed to go through it, and if you're supposed to hit that narrow thing, in theory, well, then it's, you know, there's a game of, like, execution versus idea. And I'm never gonna back down. As in, I love the hipster stuff as long as
we just gotta reel it back in a little bit. That's all.
Reel it back in a little bit.
Yeah, no, but I'm with you on your point. I think it's very true that there's a more stable and basic way to play. But I think what LGD really need to do now is, like, it's a mental game. It's back against the wall. You're 1 game away from elimination. Are you gonna, you know, get weaker? Are you gonna shy away from your good ideas, or are you gonna man up and, like, just make it work? Because if you can't click your buttons and if you can't execute ideas, you're not gonna go. You're not gonna go to the end. You know, you're only gonna go so far. So I would like to see them man up and not necessarily do the same, but do what it is that you want to do.
Play better. It sounds so simple. Just play better, a little bit of better draft, better everything. Yeah. We're gonna see if they can keep themselves alive in the next game. The draft of game number 2 between Talon and PSG.LGD will be coming at you after this.
react. You whispering my name, thinking I won't be the same. Turn fiction into fact. See what you didn't know, bruises that'll never show, slipping on your every jab. So tighten up your fist, step into the ring with this. I hope your mama's got your back. First round, you thought you would've knocked me down. Fifth round, bleeding out the side of your mouth. Final round, pulling the sound of my name in the crowd. You didn't bust. Oh, 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 oh. You didn't bust. Oh, 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 oh. Just 'cause I took a break, you're making a huge mistake, thinking you can take the throne. Look at you trembling, step into the lion's den. Bet you wish you stayed at home. Begging for mercy underneath your breath when I ain't even sweating yet. My legend's written in the stone, yeah. You're crying danger in defeat is now your only friend. Even your mama's gotta know. First round, you thought you would've knocked me down. Fifth round, bleeding out the side of your mouth. Final round, only the sound of my name in the crowd. You didn't bust. Oh, 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 oh. You didn't bust. Oh, 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 oh.
Everybody trippy, yeah, we coming, yes, they're back. Yeah, we walking with a body bag full of cash. Cut from a different rary, raise it like a flag. Unapologetic. We gon' keep running it back, running it back, running it back. Running it back, running it back. And that's we gon' keep running it back, running it back, running it back. Running it back, running it back, running it back. Hey, 10 toes, I'ma never miss. Boy, I'm locked in, never take a loss in the sport, boy, I'm top 10. Giving work all around the clock, I know they watching. Got it out of the mud, ain't had no options. Oh, yeah, let me go ahead and change my style up. Got that touch like Midas.
Game 2 of PSG.LGD taking on Talon here. It's a best of 3 in elimination mode. Yes, that's right. We have got ourselves two teams that are either going to be top 8 or left behind at top 12. Talon took game 1 in a very convincing fashion. We'll see if PSG.LGD can force out a third deciding game. PSG.LGD this time around had priority. They chose to be first pick, and therefore Talon chooses Radiant, as most people do nowadays. And here we see the drafting is already going on. I'm joined by Jenkins, PPD, and No-Till, and we are already well underway. Talon gets their hands on their jabs. Underlord Peter, that's surely a good one.
Yes, but LGD got the Caudle, which has been everybody's favorite first pick as of late.
We talked about this also backstage. It's like you've seen Talon's previous games, and in 6 out of the 5 games before coming into the series, he was playing Underlord. So it's hard to imagine that LGD doesn't see this coming and doesn't have an answer for it. And I've seen, you know, how Underlord can also be a big burden and suffer if the lane doesn't go his way, or if you get the right counter pick and you make it work. So,
how good is Techies?
How good is Techies? I think it's a super good hero.
Can I tell you the stats so far? Talon is actually their most played hero together with Underlord. Underlord, 5 games played, 80% win rate, and Techies, they won 3 times out of 5.
I think the hero adds a lot, especially with an early lead. When you start getting like early remote mines into the suicide ganks, you can get skilled taser and you can be a nuisance. You can go for these runes, get a lot of vision. Is one of the quicker heroes in the game. Yeah, I think it's a super good hero, but what can also happen is if you don't have a good laning phase, like if you don't find a place to get hero kills, stay there, leech XP, and you start falling behind, it does feel very lackluster in because all you're adding is a lot of damage, and if that damage isn't enough and it gets out healed, the cooldowns are too long, and you don't really have any other skill set. The stun is, very long cooldown. LGD going for mag though. Oh, I don't like this.
Unexpected.
Yeah, I really don't like this, because now you're going to see what Talon has done every time they pick Underlord. They're going to ban the Slark. Well, LGD banned it for them.
Very kind of them.
Very kind, because I think Talon would have. They're going to ban Monkey King.
Maybe Ursa.
Probably Ursa as well. And I would have liked to see something that would answer this Underlord. And I think Underlord is really good versus Mag. So that's kind of my thing. Is like, why did you do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like LGD's opener versus this.
Many teams would just take their, their Ursa, or most likely Monkey King, was a little bit more versatile as a response to that Underlord. We saw that yesterday as well. Liquid Mickey just completely shutting down this Underlord.
Exactly.
Especially because you have the 3 bans to protect the carry as well.
It's also good versus Techies, because you can dodge the suicide damage, and you just turn around and you can kill it.
Yeah, it's pretty relatively easy to dodge it, right? You do kind of see him coming, at least.
You're getting paid to dodge this as Monkey King player. This is your job. You have to hit it. Monkey banned.
There they go, man.
It's relatively easy to dodge if you see him.
So what's the 4th best hero versus Underlord on lane if you don't have Slark, Monkey, or Ursa? Another melee dominator that's popular?
I'm trying to think. What have people done in the past that hasn't been that?
That's a good question. I'll figure that out. Let's keep going here.
Juggernaut.
No.
Mag Jug, ladies and gentlemen.
Mag Jugger is good though. So if you find with the right support, I can see it. The spin can become a threat before he gets Vanguard. I could see the Jugger +1, and then you have the Mag Jugger. It's a cool idea. Also
Jug
versus
CM
techies.
or something.
Yeah. Jug CM, Jug Jakiro, and yeah, I'm actually a fan. That was a good suggestion.
Does that hero fit into the hipster category? Do I have to?
I think so.
I
think it's pretty hipster right now. Yeah.
Juggernaut, the hipster hero.
Well, it just underplayed,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's kind of what we've seen in this big group stage. Now into the playoffs, the heroes of the patch are sort of coming to the top, right?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they'll ban Bloodseeker or leave it in. I mean, I think it also depends because Pangolier's still in the pool, and I think both teams might look at it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this Magnus is more likely a mid laner or an off laner?
It's most like an off laner, right? But I'm sure with certain mid hero picks like an Ember Spirit or a Void Spirit, you could argue justify putting the mag there.
Yeah.
And find something else.
Denies a few potential mid picks because of the flex.
I mean, doesn't deny. I still think Ember is good versus mag, and it's completely fine running in mid. I think Ember is going to enjoy getting a lot of XP and stuff. It's just then you can change your offlane pick more so and find something punishing.
Mag's a bit more of a, I guess, carry, for lack of a better term, than would be like a Dragon Knight or a Void Spirit, somebody whose main job is just to initiate. Magnus kind of wants to farm up as a mid laner. He wants to farm up all items like that Treads, Echo Saber, BKB, and then a Blink, for example.
Yeah. We didn't really mention it, but last game Jabs went for a non-blink Magnus, and I think it was a very good read of the game as well. You don't need to add more of this. You just need to be in there in the fight with your BKB and threaten an RP on the right hero. So sometimes the heroes also work like this. It depends on the rest of your lineup and depends on how, I mean, also the enemy lineup and how fights might go.
They got rid of the Pangolier, so not an option for LGD.
No.
Their Storm Spirit is still in though.
Yeah, Storm is in. Versus Techies Underlord and Disruptor. I think these are three pretty good heroes versus Storm.
Yes. But they have Caudle. And it's nothing to say is probably his best hero. And
playable.
They're one game from elimination, so you want to make sure that you're bringing your best stuff to the table.
Yeah, but back to what I said is like, are you going into this with, cojones? Are you going into this with confidence? Or are you going into this looking for anything that makes you feel better, feel okay? Because if you're going into this trying to feel okay, I mean, you're going to feel okay in the first 5 minutes and then you lose and you go home.
Depends on the mental stability of your team, I think.
Yes. Well, I'm always going to be in the boat of like, think clearly, be confident, and then the rest will come, Oh! Interesting. Versus Underlord Techies. I've seen this hero beat Underlord in the past as well. Your ulti can cleave through these Crimsons or Vanguard builds and stuff. So if you're okay, Ogre as well.
Double melee though versus Underlord Techies.
But this could be what we were just mentioning before. This could be a mag mid and an Ogre off, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I suppose that is possible.
Caudle Sven, also pretty solid lane.
Yeah, and mag also really enjoys it. I don't know what builds people would do on a mid, but back in the day when you went like for a more core-ish mag that had to deal some damage, Bloodlust was one of the best abilities for him because you didn't really want to buy like big attack speed items early.
I actually don't like Caudle 5. Said it before up here, but I think you just end up like ruining your carry's lane by like pushing it into the offlaner's tower.
Yeah.
And you also take like half his CS, which carry players will cry about endlessly.
But Caudle Ogre could be a really solid lane.
Yeah, I think that offlane could work.
I guess Ogre. Is this the first time we see Ogre support in this tournament?
It might be. If it is Ogre support.
We've seen Ogre like 2 or 3 times offlane.
Mostly Collapse.
Yeah, Collapse played it, but someone else played it too, I want to say.
Yeah, I believe so.
Anyways, if it is a Ogre 5 and with a Sven, it can be quite okay versus the Underlord Techies. I think you can find your way. I mean, it's a new Ogre, it's a new day, so I'm not going to try to be smart on this.
I would like to see a new... What do you put the Magnus Caudle down there versus Naga? I feel like that works.
It works, right?
They could
do well, yeah.
Yeah, you get Vanguard with the Caudle spells versus Disruptor Naga. I think you'll be able to shove him out and start applying pressure. But Naga versus Sven it can be very good for Naga. It depends a lot on how Sven gets to hit, if he gets on the right target, if you have sleep ready when you sleep and so on. But in general, Naga can be quite good versus Sven, I would say. It's a better core matchup.
Talon's got a pretty good lineup to kind of kite this Sven out. They just need to focus on surviving that that initial jump, right? The RP, the God Strength plus Blink Dagger plus Sven's first stun.
And it's up to Sven to kind of bring enough damage to the fight so that the Crimson, the Greaves, and like the Atrophy Aura and all these things don't you know, if people start becoming unkillable, I think LGD starts running into, you know, big issues because the long team fights are not going to favor them.
I feel like they need more damage. They're sort of completely reliant on Sven.
Yeah, and are you picking a position 5 and doing what we talked about with the mag and the ogre? Are you picking a +5 to bring this damage, or are you picking a mid laner?
There we go. Ooh. I love this pick. They needed something like this. Just full on damage, follow up on all the stuns that they already have, and help deal with the Naga throughout the entire game. Yeah. Damage for Underlord. I haven't seen a lot of Timbersaw, but I think this hero can be good.
And the usual counters are like Batrider, Leshrac. Those are what you would pick to deal with the Timber in the game.
5 seconds.
What else? Yeah, what else is in this pool versus Timber? We mentioned Bloodseeker before. I don't know if it's worth anything. It's just a Rupture.
I think they're just getting a mid for...
Yeah. I'm thinking out of the box, like even... But there's Ember still. Okay.
Underlord mid, potentially. Veno offlane?
I think so. I think they're doing the Veno to punish the Sven. And they're just going to put the Underlord mid versus Timber, which can be quite good for Underlord because you outlasted him, right?
Timber saw his mid, actually.
Yeah, it should be Timber mid.
Offlane mag.
I mean, I don't know how it goes between the Whirling Death and the Atrophy. Like, if Underlord can actually, you know, get the first waves versus the Timber with more right-click damage, or if you lose too much strength.
All right, let's go. Bold predictions panel. We can't be wrong twice, right?
Can't surely. Twice, surely. I want to give it to Talon.
All right, I'm going to follow. I'm following No-Tail. Jenkins, dare to be a contrarian?
Yeah, you know, I'll go LGD here. I feel like Timber against Underlord is... I've been on the other end of that one. I think this could be a snowballing Timber game that we have in front of us.
I think there's a lot of magic damage for the Timber still. I think it's not a free game. But if anyone's going to do it, I think it's up to the Sven and the Timber to put in the work.
Well, we got more disables this time on the side of PSG.LGD. Stuns are good, so they got that sorted. We do have the Sven Ogre lane, and you all were not very happy about that.
Double melee. That's always
I'm not enjoying this lane.
Against Veno. Against Veno.
Well, that feels very painful, actually.
Yeah.
And I feel that.
Yeah.
So for Talon, Mikoto's going to get out of control? Or Jabs?
Jabs is going to get out of control.
Jabs going to get out of control. He has good 2 side lane matchups. If he's against the Mag or if he's against the Sven, both are going to be amazing for him. Should be.
But we don't have the initiator from the mid lane, which, Peter, you always...
Either side really does, and that's where I think Disruptor can be very impactful for Talon.
All right, Talon seems to be the favorite of my panel. Jenkins, you're in the minority here.
I'm just trying to be devil's advocate. I'll go LGD. I don't want to curse anyone. I'm just going to go LGD.
The thing is, if you all go for Talon, then you all unanimously curse Talon.
Okay, I'll go Talon. I mean, I do think like Veno should have this should be a free Veno game. He's against 3 melee cores and a melee support in lane too.
Didn't was it CRM the other day who cursed LGD? Do you remember that?
What? How did he
Slacks was asking like who he wanted to curse or whatever.
That's true.
He did curse. It was LGD.
It was LGD.
It was LGD.
Ooh,
well,
no. Does the curse live on here in this series? They're going to find out. Game 2 and potentially for PSG.LGD, if they can't pull it off, this might be their final showing here at the Berlin Major. Let's see how it goes together with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, game 2 here, ladies and gentlemen, of Talon versus PSG.LGD. And Fog, what do you make of this? You know, coming into this one with the drafts this time round, we did it, the panel, they seem to just straight up like what Talon got in terms of hero picks here in this game too. Would you agree?
There is a lot of melee heroes on the side of LGD versus an Underlord and a Venomancer. These 2 heroes, honestly, they thrive versus strength heroes, they thrive versus high HP and these melees. I could see Jabs getting out of control. For LGD, I think it's all going to be up to nothing to say. I think he is enabled in this game with the Coddle to be able to kind of blast and pop off. If he's able to get ahead and crush this Underlord once he hits 6, perhaps he could take over the map, but let's see if that's going to happen. And let's see if the level 1 thing doesn't happen this time also, because I think that really hurt LGD, the start of their game, having to go to their lanes versus like both side lanes had like 7 stick charges on the side of Talon, so they couldn't actually pressure the lanes, and they lost all 3 lanes pretty handedly. So let's see what we get going down. I'm just excited to watch some of these heroes, because it is very comfort heroes coming out for pretty much both sides. The Jabs Veno, something a classic that I think people always talk about. Zeo playing a master tier, nothing to say. We saw him play this quite a bit, even in the DPC, and he went just like the full nuke build on the Timbersaw.
I do.
What we get.
I do enjoy sort of how kind of disgusting some of Talon's heroes are.
They're pretty gross.
A Naga, a Techies, and a Veno. Ain't nobody want to be playing against these heroes. But unfortunately for PSG.LGD, that's what they're going to be up against in this game. They've got to win, otherwise they're going home.
This definitely does look like a melee nightmare if the Timber Saw isn't able to just go crazy. They get pipes and stuff like that and able to withstand versus all of this. Because, yeah, honestly, it's not even just Veno and Underlord, right? It's Disruptor and Techies, too. Like, these heroes are absurd versus all these melees. And they're starting off as a kind of a tri-lane up here.
Okay.
Right off the bat. It is spotted. Ollie, he'll be seen.
Shiro playing it carefully. It does not want to get caught out by some sort of first blood attempt by Talon.
I wonder how Ogre support is, too. I haven't seen this one played at all here at this tournament, so I'm looking forward to see what YU Smile is going to be able to do to try to withstand and protect the lane for Shiro.
Run down, jabs it a little bit. Yeah, we'll see how well sort of he's able to trade against these two.
I think the lanes across the board, though, all things considered, like besides just looking at matchups once we get into the mid game and stuff like that, I feel like LGD this time put themselves in a much better laning position. I feel like last game they did have, you know, they had like two very weak lanes in particular, where the Tinker versus the DK, and then they had this Brewmaster starting off low versus a very strong lane that Talon had set up. Why? Be in trouble.
Well, yeah, they can keep chasing.
Blood grenade and a sticky grenade.
It's going down. They could look for the deny, but they won't be able to find it. As first blood falls into the hands of Jabs. And a solid game one. And yeah, straight off into this game two, picking up the first kill.
Big one.
I mean, it's a nasty lane. Veno and
very
Techies.
nasty lane. Oh, he's actually going in.
Yeah, it's a rough one to lane into.
Oh, absolutely.
It really is.
Especially double melee.
Yep.
And overall, so looking at the other lane that we didn't talk about, because bottom and top, I mean, they should be able to pressure pretty hard. I think either way, LGD, they do have set up for good lanes. But Mikoto also, early levels for the Underlord, he does well versus the Timber.
Oh, for sure.
It's once the 6 comes out, that's when you just get completely bullied.
Because you're CSing good, you should get a chance to get some good denies in right. You hit hard.
You just have much higher base damage in particular. You see already, he's at 83, nothing to say is at 62. Shiro overall is getting slowed down, but I mean, only just. I mean, he's 9 CS anyway, so it's still pretty decent.
Sure. It has to be careful, though, just because the kill potential is so high.
Yep. The blood grenade
and
just spam.
Each time they sort of get the Gale into the bombs being thrown out on him, it's half his HP every time, and it's very easy for Talon to connect with these skills.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like for Innocence, for Y, he just has to tank the spells. Like, his job is actually kind of to die in this lane as an Ogre, just to make sure that Shiro doesn't get spammed. And the levels, as it comes out, this lane becomes miserable for a Sven. More and more levels on the Veno, more and more levels on the Techies. The nuke damage is unbelievable, especially versus double melee. But yeah, bottom, Zeal should free farm. And mid also, even though the Underlord can get a bit more of advantage with like these denies and stuff like that, I think NTS should be able to have this good time anyway. And at 6, yeah, he's going to be able to push the Underlord likely out of the lane.
Yeah, we'll see what sort of Mikoto does
we shall see.
With regards to that when that timing's hit, and if he does try and stick around, what sort of backup support he can get coming in. I mean, so something like a Techies coming in can always be there ready to jump and punish a Timber Sword diving a tower for a kill.
No, absolutely. And I'm looking forward also to see what like an Underlord mid is going to be able to do as well.
Sure.
With the early feeds game.
It's nice, you can get those quick ganks going. Or bring in a +1 for a gank on mid.
Absolutely.
Many plays to be made. Definitely,
I mean, Shiro,
a lot of strength
level
to
3
in the quick 6.
The Suicide's going to come in. He's going down.
He's absolutely gone. They might have to look for the deny. See if YU Smile can find the deny. So he's going to try and stay alive. Here's Shiro. Another bomb's going to get thrown out. Shiro, he wants to find the kill. He's not going to get it.
Nope.
Q's going to live. I mean, it's such
another Gale.
It really is such a frustrating lane to play into. It's got to feel rough. You know that everything rests on this game if you're PSG.LGD and just Sven and Ogre. They're having to lane into this Veno Techies and a Veno Techies that Talon. They're playing it perfect.
It is very disgusting lane. And it really doesn't get easier for Shiro.
No, it doesn't. I think you've soon got to sort of consider just going somewhere else other than this lane.
I think you...
What do you do?
I think you call Planet. I think that's actually
what
you have to do.
Up there?
You get the third hero up there. You leave Zeal on an island. As soon as he gets Vanguard, you leave this Magnus on his own, and you bring the Coddle up there to fix the lane, because it just isn't going to get better for Shiro by any means.
And sort of as the panel said, definitely for PSG.LGD, they're going to be hoping that their mid lane and Nothing to Say really does pop off this game. Because somebody's going to have to rectify sort of this slow start for Shiro, or at least have enough of a presence on the map that Shiro's going to be able to find the opportunity to catch up and farm, get to those safe spots without any chance of Talon reaching him.
And the thing is that level 6 is about to be hit for Makoto.
Yep.
So, I mean, they could just like Gale, Sticky Bomb, and then a Fiend's Gate appears on top of Shiro as well, too, to go for the plays. See what Makoto looks to do.
And even if you're coming in with TPs, you're just not going to be able to react quick enough.
And it's Ollie actually making the first move.
+1. Shiro's in trouble. He's very, very dead here. TPs are coming in, but Shiro's gone. See if they can at least punish Jabs. They're going to try with the jump force there from Q. They're going to lose more at PSG.LGD. YU Smiles going to get taken out. The bomb thrown the way of Planet. All 3 heroes going down. You do not want to come to this lane. Nope. You do not want to come up here. Jabs and Q. I mean, you just don't go there. Do not go anywhere near the Venom and the Techies. They will kill you, and they'll kill any backup you bring in as well.
But Owen, where's this Fen supposed to go? He's level 3. They're level 5 on the Venomancer already.
It's rough.
It's rough for Shiro.
I mean, if LGD recover from this sort of start in their safe lane, it is going to be pretty miraculous.
I mean, so much of this game is now going to be up to the mid and the off lane, mostly onto NTS, honestly. And he's playing versus a ton of magic damage as well.
And he'll get Ollie.
Okay.
Still going to be run out of the lane a bit here by Q.
And Q is really bringing it to him.
And Jabs is here as well.
Jabs. I mean, he gets the connection to the Gale.
Planet is very dead. Just another one hit.
Jabs is going to go absolutely bonkers this game.
Oh, he's on fire today.
He's going to have Vestal pretty soon.
That was 3-0-4.
And Owen, he's playing versus the quad melee, like the panel talked about too.
It's the Venomancer dream.
Yeah, I cannot actually wait to see the Noxious Plague just bouncing between these heroes when the fight kicks off too.
And just, I will see if it sort of gets like they put the Ags and the Shard down the line.
Oh my god, it's
so many
disgusting
ways to punish this lineup of PSG.LGD, and maybe that you wouldn't have to be scared of the Venom if you're PSG.LGD if he didn't have a great start. But he had a great start.
He had an amazing start.
He was involved in the all 7 kills so far. Jabs.
And Makoto. He's level 7. He opts to not get Fiend's Gate just yet, but now he has Pit with the Firestorm, so they can play super aggressive. This is just another kill. Anybody they find.
Shiro's got to run. He's got to get out of there. He's still level 4. YU Smile's dead. They can put the pressure onto this tier 1 tower now. Jabs hits the 6.
I mean, where does he go? Look, he has jungling at level 4 on his Sven. That is pretty much the worst case scenario.
On the plus side, we did see with what 7.33 cleave got buffed. So the level 1 cleave is now what the 40% instead of what it used to be like the 20% or something.
Yep.
So at least your jungling at level 4 is better than jungling at level 4 in the last patch.
23.
See ya. They may have more stuns this time around with their draft, but not in that situation. PSG.LGD, no way to stop him from getting out. 23's fine.
I mean, yeah, this is insane timings. Jabs, I mean, yeah, Vessel, it's about to be done. So versus these tanky strength cores, again, even more so.
I can kill anyone.
It's so beneficial to have this,
You got to be ready with your TPs.
Oh, yeah.
If you're PSG.LGD.
But you and him are always paired up. That's the one thing, is this Techies now at this point, this hero has a built-in stun. You don't have to wait for Shard.
Yeah, when it's the duo of them, you're
dead.
There's no answer. You're absolutely dead. And one thing that they don't have this game, which they did have last game, right? They don't have any sort of save. Last time they had the Abaddon, which was able to bail them out of some situations. Not many, of course. They still lost the game. They don't have any sort of dispel like that this time around.
I think so much of this game is really going to just come up to just nothing to say. So I think for Planet, you may just look to play around this Timbersaw and just buff him up with chakras constantly so that he can just try to snowball with some kills. Because he just needs as many as possible now to try to make space for poor Shiro, who has literally no game.
I mean, it's just that the thing for him is, as you say, with Jabs' quick Vessel, it's not like they can't kill this Timbersaw.
No.
Nothing to say. Turns up, Jabs is there with a +1 with Q. Nothing to say. He can't just charge into the fights.
It's the Vessel, but it's also just everything else, all the magic damage. Techies is 6, so it's magic amplification, the magic resistance reduction from the stacking mines. There's Firestorm. There's all this % damage. Honestly, Owen, this is going to be a hell of a game if LGD is able to recover it, because right now it's looking pretty sad.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think they're selling this lane duo perfectly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go into a pub and make someone feel miserable as hell, just pick Veno Techies lane.
You can actually just ruin these games completely. Like imagine playing a melee carry versus this in any situation.
Yeah,
they're just gonna flame their 5 and they're probably gonna leave.
It's so frustrating for the carry. Absolutely. It really will be quite something if they can recover from this sort of start.
Yeah, Makoto. I like the build that he's got queued up at the moment, going for Atos, more control. Can they punish him?
Don't drop the RP. I mean, they don't want to be messing around.
A good kill.
Drop the spells, get the kills. Meanwhile, Jabs picks up another, and he's able to kill off YU Smile.
Of course. They even find the D ward as well, so now they have access points into that top jungle where Shiro needs to recover. How does stacks looking at the least? So that is the one thing Shiro does have. He has tremendous stacks, so there will be some recovery outlets at least for him here with this.
But I guess the thing is for this Sven, in this sort of game, when does it ever feel good to turn up and fight the enemy hero?
That is going to be the question, Owen.
There's a lot of kite, right? A lot of control. Feels like you're not really going to find opportunities to fight before you have BKB.
Like BKB blink, because he needs an access tool to get into the fights as well. We'll see. Oh. Uh-oh. Whoop.
Oh.
It's all of us.
Oh, it is.
Whoop. Pause, unpause, pause, unpause.
What's going on here? Slacks.
Pause.
Over the cable.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
23 leaves. Even though everyone lags, he's like, whoa. Okay, everybody's just going to reset it.
Just a reset here.
And looking at the build, too, I actually really like this from Q. He's got a Veil.
I mean,
it's all the magic damage. Amp it up a little bit versus these tankier heroes. And
you just got to avoid these fights, right, if you're PSG.LGD, unless you're kind of making moves around nothing to say, and you know that Talon split up, which, of course, is not easy to find because they have this mid-Fiend's Gate from Underlord.
Yeah.
You know, Mikoto will be ready to bring up in the backup and kind of bring the team together if PSG.LGD do start looking to fight Talon head-on.
Yeah, you have to avoid. You have to avoid the Techies and Veno in particular. But it's not easy when you're playing also versus Disruptor. Ali, he's level 6, so they have that extra catch.
Yeah.
Didn't actually see who got the Wisdom runes. Did you get to see that one? It was... Okay, it was Planet and it was Q. So it was an equivalent exchange. But 23, I mean, he has the recipe for success for this Naga Siren, right? Even though he is versus a Cleave, versus the Timber Chakram and stuff like that, the space that's now at this point going to be made for him, it's tremendous. Yeah, and Mikoto, you know, I was pointing out the Atos build. I guess, like, for this catch, because they are maybe a little bit lacking versus this Timber, I'm wondering if maybe he wants to eventually go down some Aura route or some type of extra protection for himself. We'll see.
He's going to have the Halberd next.
Okay.
So, wants to make sure that Sven's life is even more miserable in these team fights.
Shiro does get that recovery, though. Stacks are completely cleared. His net worth's not too bad, all things considered. Deal. We'll be able to bail out last second. Are they going to chase him through the portal? I think they are. Yeah, they're going through.
See if they can find him. They could sweep this top area of the map. They know it's likely that one member of PSG.LGD will be farming these safer camps.
LGD is doing a good job of splitting away for now. If they can avoid Q. Wards up immediately. They see Zeal.
Yeah, they know. Look at the bomb down. Fiend's Gate is coming in as well. They'll drop the Static Storm.
Run away.
Goodbye, Zeal.
This is going to be a lot of magic damage. And he'll take the port back to mid lane. Keep his pressure there. Ooh, they're actually going to bring everyone. They see nothing to say for a second. The glimpse, they get vision.
Ooh, not quite.
Not quite. Still going to try. Can't. That was almost quick. Nothing to say. Getting just quite away.
And you like this as well from Molly, just the brown boot zags this game.
I mean, he's getting the Dreams kind of set up for it.
Yeah, they've got the song.
Yep.
So pretty...
Definitely makes sense.
You know, you could pretty much guarantee that Static Storm setup.
Honestly, I'm pretty... With the way that the positioning of everything else is, I'm pretty okay with it. But yeah, Shiro, he's getting time to recover, which is absolutely crucial for him. They've done a good job of avoiding the fights the last, like,
he's catching back up. It's very important for PSG.LGD. They slowed down Talon, and sure they lose Zeal to that play up top, but other than that, the kills that were kind of just soaring in for Talon early on, they're definitely being slowed down.
Yeah, not everyone can have a good game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Someone's gonna have to sacrifice a little bit. And yeah, Planet, I mean, now at this point, level 3 Illuminate. The push on the side of Talon, they have great killing heroes, but pushing buildings is gonna be a bit more difficult. So yeah, they're getting time to recover.
Yeah, you can see here. Straight on the way to the BKB. And toss done now for Mikoto, so further setup here for Talon to start the action themselves. PSG.LGD, they'll smoke up and walk into this.
Okay. Ollie.
He's thinking about going up into the high ground. We'll lay down the Thunderstrike and the Firestorm. Why you smile, able to walk it off. The rest of PSG.LGD poking from the side.
Q.
He's trying to jump in to finish the kill off here. If he can get it. A couple of mines set down and he'll find it. Q able to jump up, still takes down Why You Smile.
Q, I mean, this is one of his most played heroes for a reason. Super confident on it. 406. Love how aggressive he's playing.
Going to go beyond the tower here. The setup's there into the Gale. It's going to be another pickup for Talon that could set up
Now
allow them to push this tier 1 tower down.
Yeah, good invasive play. They were patient with the way they just fully ran up the high ground, but then the jump forward, they get the kill and enables them to now set up for tower here. Great moves. Talon, very similar to last game, playing incredibly confident.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Big fan of how they're moving around. Yeah, 23. I mean, Manta's now done, so he's going to be able to keep up the pace, keep that farm going, staying ahead of the Sven potentially, especially because Shiro, he's got to constantly be worried about the hunt. Hunt overall that comes out from PSG.LGD, it's nowhere near as threatening for 23. He can just song and TP out in most situations. Shiro gets found from these heroes, he's likely just dead.
Yeah, some good movements around the map though by Shiro, finding these safe spots. You know, gets a couple of waves pushed out bottom, then immediately back up to this top area.
And he's got them power too, so he'll be able to get that big cleave. He clears through these camps in like 3 hits.
Echo's done, so they should be able to speed up getting towards that next time at the BKB. Of which then, maybe there's a place for him in these fights.
Okay, and Zeal's actually gone for the Blink Dagger route this game. So feeling like he needs to be a bit more playmaky. Not the easiest thing when you're playing versus Veno, of course. Versus these pesky wards. Mid.
Trying to get for the setup, but they won't get it immediately. They can go for the glimpse back. And into the static storm.
Big damage.
It is a lot of damage. And far too much.
Another one.
Timbers to survive through. They'll turn over to YU Smile. They should be able to get both of them here.
Absolutely.
I mean, it really is just so much. Any sort of catch, and then they just click all the buttons, press all the spells, it will kill anyone on the screen.
I mean, it's so much magic damage because of the amp from the Veil. 18% increased, and then 3 mines to reduce the magic resistance by 45% as well, too. Or, the stacking mine damage. It's absurd how much they really do have.
Yeah, nobody's living through that. And that's the thing as well that makes it kind of so guaranteed when they go for these kills. They've just got excellent setup, right? Between the Rod of Atos and the pit from Mikoto, you ain't running away.
And the catch again, Zeal. Can't blink out of this one.
And there's the setup. They'll pop the RP, but
there's
he's
no
gone.
Damage. Oh my.
Maybe an RP out of frustration there.
Definitely.
I think they know that this is...
So we said
maybe I don't know.
Pretty irrecoverable.
Is this going to be harder than game 1 to turn around? What would you rather be 15 minutes in on this game as PSG.LGD or 15 minutes in on the last game as PSG.LGD?
I think probably the last game. You at least have, like, if there's a chance if they make mistakes that you can kind of come back. This one, I think even if Talon makes a bunch of mistakes, this Sven has pretty horrendous matchups as we've seen multiple times.
And 23 is kind of the backup policy here, right? He's the insurance. Yeah. He's only been involved for 1 kill. That's all he's needed to do. He hits the creeps. If anything goes downhill, this Naga Siren, they'll be ready to cover the later portions of the game.
They have, he's 3 components toward Aghanims already on Disruptor.
I mean, it's going to be one of the faster times we've seen?
Probably one of the fastest if he keeps up at this rate. Why? He might just, he's just going to die.
Yeah, 23 can finish him off with the illusions.
This is brutal.
This is crazy. Yeah, Talon today, my goodness. I don't think anyone would want to run into Talon in this lower bracket if this first series is going to be anything to go by. They are looking ferocious.
Ferocious and incredibly confident. Like, look at Q. He's setting up for potential kills because they have the Fiend's Gate ready.
They do have the Fiend's Gate, right? Yeah,
if he finds him, they just come in. Hero has to be so careful. All of LGD just has to be so careful until BKBs come out.
Anybody can die.
Yep.
And Mikoto, he's just going to start walking in. Shiro. Oh my goodness, doesn't see him. Well, that was rather close.
It's so scary how they can hunt with this lineup. Anybody gets found, 3 heroes will just appear on top of you and delete you until the BKBs come out. Once BKBs come out, perhaps they'll have some type of answer versus, but yeah, at this rate. Too much space being made for this Naga who is owning the map. Cutting creep waves, pushing in 2 lanes at the same time constantly. And yeah, they're on the prowl. Smoke. Nothing to say, shows himself for a second. He has no BKB. Very vulnerable. Where's he gonna go? He's hiding. He's gonna try to claim a wisdom, but they're all on top of him.
23 sees him.
He's in trouble. He's looking pretty dead.
Any sort of catch, and it's gonna do it every time. It's just so much damage, you can't live through it. Even if you're a Timber.
This techies. Wait, can we see? I saw the damage before. Can we keep just bringing it up so we can just keep showing off for little Q techies over here? I mean, he is literally deleting everybody. Look at this. Look at this Sven damage. I don't think it's going to get much better than that. This is crazy.
I mean, the big test will be the BKB.
It will be. It's all about triple BKB.
If Shiro can turn up with the BKB, get in with the God Strength, we'll see if he can kind of delete some of these heroes. But
then there's a Naga, too, who could just reset the fight potentially, or focus fire you.
That's true, they can disengage pretty easily. Whew.
Talon came to play today. And also, you know, BKB's, we keep saying, right, it's for LGD, timing will be, potential timing will be BKB, but then there's going to be the potential also of a song into an Ag Static Storm very early on in the game with the way Ollie's building. Okay, LGD, they're bringing the numbers.
They're setting up for a fight.
See who they can find. Playing around Vision.
This is pre-BKB though, I'm sure.
It is. Can be risky.
And they're on Jabs. Start the fight with,
delete him.
Without Planet. Now indeed, they get the kill on Jabs. See if they can try and push for more. They'll turn with the Shockwave onto Ollie, but backup's coming in for Talon. PSG.LGD, they're going to keep going forward, nothing to say. It's in with the Timber Chain, Chakra connection onto Ollie. And Makoto, Q, and 23, they are around. They'll hold him down.
My lord.
Bring him down so low, so quickly. There's nothing to say. He's got to be heavy on the retreat, but the Vision's there.
Glimpse.
They get the glimpse back. Nothing to say. Will go down once again. They get Jabs. And again, it costs them. And 23's the one to pick up the kill. That'll be his time. He's continued to fly, and he's got his heart picked up.
Oh, he feels amazing. He's like, team, thank you so much. You guys are just killing everybody around the map. I'm playing just Naga Siren PvE, showing up, getting a cleanup kill or two. This damage is just so ridiculous with all this amp up. Shiro, BKB is done. But where's the damage for the Naga Siren at this point going to be?
Yeah, I mean Zeal's trying to get this pipe online, but it's still a fair bit away.
It is. I mean they need a pipe versus all this magic, and it can't really be nothing to say to build it. I mean even the pipe on Zeal, it's like it feels like he does need BKB completely this game too.
And time to steal some Tormentors.
Ollie, careful.
Oh, Ollie.
Ollie.
Ollie. Watch out the supports. They're going to try and get in and take this fight around this. And they might be forced to. They get the skewer back onto Makoto. Makoto pretty deep here. They've got him.
Shiro
23
BKB.
tries to save him with the song, but the BKB was already there from Shiro, so Shiro could continue to kill off Makoto. The rest of them will get out, Talon. A PSG.LGD successful in pushing them back, getting a kill on Makoto, and will make sure that the Tormentor falls into their hands.
That was bold from Talon. They almost pushed how low it got, but like it gets them very, very low themselves and just sets up for initiation. Yeah. And honestly, that was very close for 23. Look, if you look at Shiro, the stun, look, watch his swing right here. It like just came up right at the end there, the stun. He had like 0.1 second of animation coming out. A good comeback, a good couple kills there for LGD.
I mean, Talon, they want to go straight back in for the fight.
Sure do, they know BKB's on cooldown. Shiro's a free kill if they find him.
He didn't use his God Strength though, so God Strength would still be there. But indeed, the lack of BKB could be the overwhelming issue for Shiro.
He'll just die. The magic damage is going to be overwhelming.
He's going to go for the TP out. But Q, he puts a stop to it. They'll even be able to get the grab onto the Ogre as well. They'll be able to go for two of them. As Talon, as soon as they lose that earlier fight top, they just straight back in. Q picks up another double.
7, 0, and 13. He's 20 of the 22 kills on this Techies, and he's now literally about to hit 12. They're actually going to kick up pace. They're going to go for Roche. Definitely hard for LGD to contest in that area, especially because everybody's just going to be full HP. And yeah, they love their Techies, and we're absolutely seeing why.
Guys, a brilliant Techies game.
Brilliant Techies game, brilliant Techies player. We do see this sometimes from Talon where the supports just go absolutely crazy. This is one of those games.
How's Ollie doing on the Axe? 500 goals. 400 goals. He's going to be so close. So likely to be there for the next fight. Obviously PSG.LGD will have seen him, building up this whole game. So likely that they will be prepared for it. But the question is sort of how prepared can you be for the song into Static Storm if you haven't preemptively BKB'd. It's not easy to play against.
Quietly in the meantime though, Planet has been farming quite a lot on this Coddle. So little things to obviously look at. He has Solar Crest finished up already, and I believe he did buy the Shard relatively early, so he can pull heroes around, try to either match the Fiend's Gate or just avoid the fights to be able to set up Shiro for some chance of being able to catch up still. That's actually pretty important. He's very farmed on this Coddle.
And Qn on the Wind Waker next.
Okay.
Midas.
Midas.
They're ready for the recovery.
They're ready for the recovery.
They've just got to hold it out this game. PSG.LGD.
I mean, that's definitely what they're telling themselves. They're like, all right, high ground defense, take it to the super late game. That's where Sven is going to be able to delete some heroes, and BKBs are very strong this game.
Because they've got that wombo late game.
Do.
Nice RP into a follow-up from Sven. That'll do the job.
Especially with high ground defense, that's where things can start getting messed up. They feel like they got a timing here, too. BKB's finished on Timber. BKB on the Sven. Let's see if they can get the initiation. Can they get on this back line?
It's risky to look for this fight, especially into the Aegis of 23, but
and there's
very
mines.
much feeling pressured that they have
scout
to do this.
The mines scout the rotation. They know exactly where they are.
It's going to be tough for PSG.LGD to find something of this. If they do, it's going to be pretty wild.
They can get the back line. It's all important. Jabs.
He's preparing.
He sees him. Glimmers.
Nothing to say. He's trying to lead in on this. Shiro watching from the side.
ATS. He's feeling confident with BKB.
Going in again. See them holding back for now. He's got to have the backup coming in to help him out. Put the BKB. He's still trying to commit in onto Makoto. Bring Makoto down low.
Jabs.
See if we can finish him off. Another Chakram's there, but the song, it's out. Nothing to say. Was able to finish up the kill.
They're dipping.
They'll back off. They've lost their Underlord. They don't want to take this fight. Talon, they're able to get everybody else out.
That was very nicely done from Nothing to Say. The haste rune and the BKB, he just charges in and just, yeah, he gets rid of the Underlord before anything. LGD starting to find avenues back. The greed. Will it work? The Midas, the Philly Stone for the Ogre.
23 closing in on his next item. Butterfly pretty much done.
They have completely closed the gap on the gold though. That is pretty incredible when it's 22-5. Especially with the way that this meta works right now where kills are worth so much. But BKB on cooldown for Nothing to Say. Has to be careful where he shows himself on the map.
Yeah, that is pretty wild how close it is,
Yep.
you know, considering the kills are 22-5. Even some sort of the state of like the levels of the supports, it's very close.
They've avoided.
They're pretty much on a similar level state, even though the supports of Talon, they got so much.
LGD's been just doing a good job of avoiding fights, right? Planet, I think he's just been deceptively sitting back and farming. Like, it's 9,000 net worth on a Coddle. He's ahead of Techies, who's been able to just literally find every single kill on the map. Pretty impressive. And yeah, Bloodlust plus some power definitely will start to kick in onto Shiro.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Jabs starting to fall a bit behind on the gold on this Venomancer. 90 seconds left on Aegis. BKB back on for Nothing to Say. The 23 forcing issue here with his Butterfly.
Looks like PSG.LGD aren't interested in holding this tier 2.
I mean, they're playing for the later stage.
Just avoiding the fights. Hitting the creeps. So far, financially, it's definitely paying off.
Absolutely.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
And they even have the, how many Philosopher Stones do they actually have? They did get 3 of them.
Oh, they went for 3?
They went for 3. I mean, that's definitely, it starts to add up. It starts to accumulate that net worth for them.
Let's see if they can afford to lose another tier 2 here in the mid now. Trying to dissuade 23 a little bit. 20 seconds left on the Aegis. Maybe an opportunity for PSG.LGD to get out and look for another fight.
So definitely tense moments here. Double blinks at the right. I mean, Shiro, he has the blink done also with Zeals from earlier. So they have access to be able to get into the back lines. And Makoto, he's trying desperately to finish his BKB so he doesn't just get evaporated from the Timbersaw like happened last fight. Yeah, and Midas and Philly Stones absolutely starting to kick in. Yeah, I mean, Jabs is literally getting no farm. It's actually been about 7 minutes where I feel like he's been between 9,000 and like 10,500 net worth. They are getting stuck in a position where they are running around as a unit. And LGD is just splitting up. I think a full crit, or a small crit now coming out for Shiro too. His damage is starting to kick in. Still gonna have an issue versus the Butterfly, but if he's able to jump backlines and delete the supports, could be huge for them.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Has to make sure that he makes it count on the first few BKB usages, because obviously once he gets down to that 6 seconds, it gets kind of that risky point where if you don't kill them quick enough, BKB wears off, Song's going to come in, and suddenly the fight's getting turned around onto you. It has to make these sort of longer durations really count when PSG.LGD do eventually look to go out and get hunting for that fight.
LGD is just getting very good neutral items, though. I'm still clicking around on these heroes. Titan Sliver now for the Sven. I believe the Ogre Seal Totem for the Magnus to be able to reset and jump inside of these fights. Wyu Smile gets a headband on top of his Philly. And he's queuing up Hex, so the recover outlet is definitely starting to kick in. This is very impressive. Talon, they're constantly sticking together. Trying to find some type of window here to blow open another kill. Why?
The TP's coming in. The Glimpse back. They will commit to take him down, and of course with the farm, the 23 as they do it very quickly. They've got the song set up. See if Volley wants to follow up with the Static Storm on this one. It's an axe. So there'll be no chance for any items to come out here.
Shiro's here though.
To say, but Shiro's in from the side. Nothing to say goes down. Shiro turns towards 23. Immediate buyback here from Nothing to Say.
23's in trouble.
They're in with the stun. The evasion is giving him some survivability to 23. And he pops the illusions. He's trying to juke it out. He's
How is he out?
He's getting away. He's out juking them, but they've got vision upon him again. He's still escaping though. The kinetic field holds him back.
What?
The great escape here for 23. He's out of there.
How?
Between the illusions. With the glimmer, was it Glimmer coming in? Who was that? It was Jabs.
I think it was Jabs.
Jabs with the Glimmer. Bails him out.
What?
And 23 gets away.
But we're seeing the power. LGD's kicking in. It does force a buyback from Nothing to Say, but how the hell does he get out? Zeal, he misses the RP.
I mean, that RP must have been so close.
He held on to it a couple times. I think he felt like they didn't need it, and then ends up missing it at the end. The great escape. Oh my goodness. Talon looking to strike back here. BKB still on cooldown.
23's going straight for it.
He's on Zeal.
He's in on a Zeal.
Zeal's going down.
Goodbye. Another kill here for 23. They can get the push going now. No Magnus for 50 seconds.
Can they get a glimpse? They're looking for it. Ollie can't quite find it. 23 might run to the base
up to high ground, and it's going to be enough to give them vision. They drag back Wyu Smile. Another kill for Talon. At the same time, they're bringing in that mid wave. They can look for the tier 2 here.
They're actually, this is the most confident, like we said, just like last game, they're still playing with that, like, we know the exact timings of these BKBs. Who cares if they get this, like, good fight with the God Strength and stuff like that for a second? They're completely reliant on their cooldowns on the side of LGD. They're getting the push on high ground.
Yeah, I mean, so much they're getting done just down to the fact that 23 was able to survive out their last play.
I cannot believe that. That was insane.
He's in now, putting the pressure on. Still a bit of time here until PSG.LGD have their full lineup back in the game.
They do have good high ground defense, though. The Kato Blast will be able to clear most out. And everything is pretty much back up for them. BKBs and God Strength is at the ready. Wild game. Tense moments.
They can't let those kills slip away from them again like that, PSG.LGD. Everything's got to be thrown down. No hesitation.
He's still taking good fights, though. Roche, what's the timer on it? It is about 1 minute and 40 seconds. It's going to be a pretty long respawn. Q getting, I mean, he's very close to his Aghanims. Yes. I don't know if it's one that we've gotten to see in one of these pro games yet. I know I've got, no, the Techie one.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know what it does, of course. I'm looking forward to see how much players panic inside of it, of course, and how much people end up actually moving versus the minefield sign if he does get it. As LGD, they're primed for the fight. They are absolutely strong enough to fight into this lineup now at this point. It's all about initiations. High ground claimed. The song combo is devastating as well. Who's going to get caught?
The high ground hit, Talon around it, but Shiro's going to jump in. He's going to be immediately able to delete Q. Now with the BKB God Strength, they're going to look for more. Up
he dodges it!
Oh my goodness, he dodges the RP! Zeal is going to try and change with the remainder of this BKB to kill 23 up, but the Static Storm comes out. 23 is falling low. He's still alive somehow. Finally, they take 23 out. As Makoto is attempting to turn towards Shiro, and actually just punching through him. Makoto will be able to kill the Sven off.
But NTS is killing everyone.
They've lost the techies here. Q ball back for this is a dieback on him. Makoto's also going to get left behind. He's going to try and get out through the Fiendscape, but he won't make it. As PSG.LGD, they'll still be able to take the fight, despite some of the flashy attempts from Talon, 23 in particular, to try and survive the jump. 3 dead on Talon.
Oh, and they've completely recovered everything in this game. Roche is back up in 15 seconds. They're going to be able to take it pretty damn fast on LGD as well. If they do get there in time, and I think they will. The Manta dodge, but doesn't matter, nothing to say. Very coordinated. The way that they set up the fight was perfect. He leads the charge with the Sven, and nothing to say, doesn't walk into the song. He actually waits on the outskirts and gets his BKB off so that he can actually finish off the Nagasar. Look up top at the fight. Waits for it, and then he's like, screw it, I'm committing in with BKB.
Yeah, they played that really well.
I mean, they're completely back in the game. Roche, it's up, but the Naga Siren's back. LGD. Making magic happen. All right, they're in a pretty good advantage, it does feel like, at this moment as well, too. The fights, every time they have their cooldowns up, definitely feels like Talon, they have to get the initiation themselves with a song into a Static Storm on the ideal targets.
How close are some of these hexes as well? We're getting, you know, why you smile with this Midas gold. Slowly crawling towards a hex for the Ogre.
Absolutely. Landed also, Will-O-Wisp. It's very strong. This Naga Siren needs all the help she can get from her allies.
Yeah, it's just a great jump from Shiro.
Yep.
Playing as aggressively as he did, just straight into the high ground up towards the Twin Gate. I mean, that's the one thing when you fight around this area. You know that if you jump up there, you're going to find someone.
It's initiations are everything.
Shiro, we'll see if he does it again.
Round two.
He does. Straight in onto Jabs. Complete. Ooh. Oh, they got the illusions.
Whoopsie.
Off the mark there with the RP, but Jabs gets deleted.
I mean, now they need to back away. That's BKB's used. They actually have to be careful themselves. Gem was not able to be claimed.
So you say that time round, PSG.LGD not feeling too happy with what they got for that commitment?
No.
Just a Jabs kill. Not enough really when you pop that many spells and cooldowns.
Talon gets Roche for this.
Yeah.
They can't contest this.
All right, there you go, Jabs. He tanks it, and yeah, looks like Talon will they'll get the Roche for that.
Yep. Back and forth we go. Initiations are key, as we see though. LGD, if they get these jump ups, they're just going to delete these heroes. But Talon this time able to distance themselves nicely. Good bait there from Jabs, and 23, of course, with his illusions.
And you realize for 23 as well, getting this hex done, he'll have it for the next fight.
Everything is going to be about who jumps. It really does feel like it is. Roche says, bye-bye. It is time for me to move top.
Oh, chase him. Get through that Twin Gate. Don't let him get away.
LGD.
I mean, they do scan it out. Could have been quite comical if they were there a little bit sooner, but as it is, Talon, they'll have the space to take down Roche, get the Aegis and the cheese, and now PSG.LGD, they'll make the call not to find this. They're still waiting for the BKB to come back up on Shiro here, 15 seconds.
Shiro now has Satanic. Another form of Dispel.
He's big.
Another way to protect himself.
If Talon can play the vision game, and sort of they're ready, you know, kind of 23 of like the Hex precast onto one of these big initiators, it really could cause some issues for PSG.LGD's jump.
Yeah, and also let's see who gets this shard. Techie. I was going to say, if Techies gets the shard, this is another thing that can actually add an extra element into things. The disarm plus this taser is actually quite strong. I think this has been a huge addition also to make Techies cool. If he's able to utilize it like after the BKBs come up.
What of the big arms coming out for PSG.LGD? We're getting the Harpoon being gone for by Shiro. How's the Hex doing on Why You Smile? Still a little bit away.
I think the Shivas is the next big important one, at least for nothing to say. He's very close to it, and that's, of course, versus this Naga Siren, incredibly important.
They'll get a shard. Who's this going to? Who do you want it to be going to? It's going to be the Magnus Steel.
Okay. Sure. Not a great one, but whatever. Game neck and neck.
Think about jump. They've stabilized this nicely, but not to say that you know, Talon are out of this, because 23 is still so incredibly strong, and even with Hexes coming into play on both sides, there's still something to be said overall for that song into Aghanim Static Storm. Not a whole lot you can do against that if the spells connect.
Initiations, cooldowns, it's gonna and vision is gonna be the most important things in this game.
Yeah, it's really just down to the play now.
Yeah.
With how even it is. Team fight execution, who's going to come out stronger? For lags. For Q.
Yeah, I like what Jabs is going for next. Yeah,
because he's been the one that gets focused.
Yeah, he needs to just get this kind of thing. Because if he just gets the lead, as long as he gets like 1 or 2 spells off, it feels good for him. And yeah, Q Aghanims. Let's see if the minefield sign makes a difference at all. If it does anything.
I mean, sure, it's just you pop it down and it starts just kind of sprouting random mines around.
If they move.
They'll be moving. They'll be running.
Especially inside like an Ag Static Storm. I think that's where it can just delete these heroes. In something like that. LGD now being contained inside the base here by these illusions.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
What a tier 4 neutrals, anything specific we see here. A static cap on Q, it's a pretty good one. Just be able to break the combos a little bit so we can get some spells off.
Trick's always nice as well.
They're very nice.
Gives him more of a chance if he's the one getting jumped and focused by Shiro.
The double headbands are in play for PSG.LGD that we pointed out from earlier. And that's it for now. shield rune, Makoto. Could be another important one to be able to protect himself.
He's pretty
tanky.
Very tanky.
Yeah.
Halberd, BKB, shield rune.
Planet. He shows himself on this ward for a second. They're stalking him. No way.
Did you just blink over him? Well, there was no instance of catching any vision. He literally, they passed each other perfectly.
Ollie, he found him.
He found him. Oh, well, fair play to them, to Ollie, for having the resilience to keep on hunting, as they will find Planet. Ollie might die for this. See if he ticks out of the Spirit Vessel. He will, but he did his job there, Fog. He found him.
I mean, they still tip Planet because they're like, dude, you just solo killed him amongst 5 heroes. Amongst 4 heroes, how the hell did that happen? I can't believe he always gets away. Literally everybody on top of him. It's wild.
Yeah, you can feel as well. 23 now times. This is sort of the point, right, where you kind of want to end the game as Nagasaran. You've got your BKB. You're ready to force these fights to survive. Still with a good amount of time left on the Aegis.
They're ready to jump.
They want to do something, but there's no disruptor. 23.
He is playing very risky
goodness,
here.
He's so far from the team. And of course, he has got an Underlord ready to back him up. And if anything, PSG.LGD, they're the ones scared of him. Or are they? They'll maybe realize they're like, hey, you know what, guys? We can go back in on this.
Do they have the Static Storm in range?
I think it's just a song to back off, surely.
It looks like it is. Okay, I mean, LGD could look to jump this.
No song. Shiro. He's in.
Glimmer.
They make the jump onto Jabs, but the Glimmer, it's enough to allow Jabs to disengage. Shiro not able to full commit, and
Shiro.
That's the BKB and the God Strength used by Shiro.
If they get vision of him, there's going to be a big problem.
I mean, absolutely, 23's just going straight back in. They've got the Hex opening here onto Nothing to Say. They'll start to throw the damage down on towards the Timberstorm. It's a bit tankier this time round, as he'll be able to get out. They'll glimpse him back, but he'll put the BKB. He's not going to mess around. Nothing to Say. He wants to get out of here.
Oh, and they forced BKBs and God Strength.
And, I mean, they've got Static Storm up.
They've got everything
Song in 35 seconds. They'll have a window to go where PSG.LGD may not be ready for the full high ground defense.
They just got to watch the skewers. They're pinging it out
immediately. They're pinging out for Magnus.
Yep, they're like, watch out. Looks like they're going to use Fiend's Gate to replenish Jabs here a bit. The skewer, not going to happen. Minefield sign, not really doing too much either.
A quick trip back to base. What's this to pick up? Just to refuel?
Just refuel mana.
Refuel.
Jabs is low.
Get the mana up.
I think AC also now picked up on the Underlord.
23 poking with the Hex.
Okay. Shiro waiting in the wings. 20 seconds God Strength, 35 BKB.
Song's up.
Magnus waiting for a skewer.
I mean, 23 could look for an aggressive setup if he just wants to get in and Song.
He's thinking about it.
He's going to do it. He's going to put the Song steal. He's in with the RP and the skewer back onto the two of them.
The Song is perfect to defend
them. They're backing up. And if anything, Ollie's just been put in position to get an easy Static Storm laid down on another. They're going to go all in on it. The Hex is there. They'll get the Hex off onto Shiro. Shiro has to back out of the side for now. Nothing to Say, though. He survives the complete attempt from Talon. Talon, they're attempting to bail out of this one. 23 BKBs, TP's out. But there's something that the luxury will not be there for both Q and Makoto as they get taken down. The defense is held by PSG.LGD.
That's Shiro without even having to have the BKB. He gets the jump in. They go for Nothing to Say, but that is the literal tankiest target.
It really is.
He literally absorbs it all.
They cannot kill him that easily at all right now. Everything thrown down on him. They use the focus of the Song into the Static Storm onto this Timber, and it's not enough. He's out, even with the sort of chance that they got the Hex onto Shiro, slowing down his opening into the fight. It wasn't enough. He still gets the cleanup, still gets the triple.
This Sven, he's getting close to being at critical mass too. 25 soon to be hit with MKB versus this Naga Siren. Then 23's got no hope to really get away.
Free Wisdom Rune as well for them here.
Getting up to push going as
well. Getting that 25. There we go. Level 25 Sven.
He's going to hit hard.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
What does he get rid of for the MKB? Just swapping the treads out? Yeah, he's selling him. Treads
he'll get him. He'll eventually
get
the Swift Blink and stuff like that, so I think just
50% God Strength damage now.
He's
on top of it all.
He's going to disintegrate these heroes.
Yeah, the wombo combo, it's huge. Even if they just don't find the RP, even just sort of a skewer alone, bunching up a couple of heroes together, Shiro, he's going to clean them out in kind of like 3-4 hits.
Talon, after having a very solid overall way of confidence that they go for targets, they have to be careful of how they do target prioritize now at this point. If they can find the Sven, the game could still just completely be into their favor, but they have to not really going for the Timber, I think is the best option for them.
I agree. They have to disable and kill the Sven.
Yeah.
If they disable and kill the Sven, unlikely that there's going to be anywhere close to sort of the insane amount of burst damage from the rest of PSG.LGD's heroes when it comes to killing Talon, so 23 stands more of a chance to live through these fights. But yeah, everything has to be focused on this Sven, because Shiro, he hits like a million tron.
Yeah. If he gets the angle to just get any hits off, he will delete them. The supports now at this point, too, are just huge on the side of PSG.LGD as well. Why? He has the Hex.
Yeah.
They won 23.
They've got eyes on him.
23's in trouble.
He's going to get the song off. They're coming in with the BKB. I mean, 23, of course, still decently tanky, though. Use the RP as well. Ollie's stepping up. He's got the Static Storm. It's going to be enough to keep 23 alive. Now they can turn. They're going to Hex down.
Shiro in trouble.
Shiro getting burst low. 23 commits it down. Kill him off. They're taking Shiro out.
No buyback.
He'll look towards Zeal. He gets glimpsed back to his death. 2 dead on PSG.LGD as this time round, Talon, they were prepared.
I think they thought that they would be able to do more damage to this Naga, but he is actually pretty damn tanky, even versus the Sven.
Yeah, he got sort of what the BKB off right before they managed to get sort of connection. 23, he reacted perfectly.
He reacted perfect.
They went all on in him. They could not kill him. And now they're ready to push in. Shiro, he does not have buyback.
He does not. He committed.
It's the same to be said here for this Ogre. Why are you smart? He's dead for a minute.
Oh my god. And look, I mean, 23, the decision making now, it's back. Instantly buys a Moonshard after that fight. I think he knows. They're
Play
like,
it fast.
He's like, they spent the gold. It's time for us to end the game.
Go all in.
Holy Talon. Look at, I mean, 23's feeling confident. They get 1 racks, they get the middle as well onto top.
They could take it all here. Look for the Megas. Nothing to say. Planet and Zeal, what can they pull together? Just the 3 of them. As I say, gets caught by the silence and the root. Still a tough one to take out. Well, the Wisp gets laid down by Planet. Nothing to say. He's trying to get in aggressive onto 23. I'm going down to about half HP, but the song's back up. They can look to set up. They're going to go straight for Zeal. Static Storm's back up. They're looking down underneath the tier 4. Q jumps in. Zeal, he's going down. No buyback for him. 100 seconds out on the Magnus.
20 on Shiro.
See why you're smart back in action. He's in immediately with the Hex. Over towards 23, but he's TP'd in for this one, and he's immediately going to be taken back out. As he's gone, they'll get the kill on Ollie. Fortification is up. At 23, he'll make the call to back off. Ends up TPing out of this one. They respect the fact that Shiro, he's back in the game. Talon, they won't push their luck. They'll play it safe.
They all just TP out in their faces. A big hit been made from Talon, though. Buyback, I believe, is it pretty much available for the Naga? 900 short, but very close. They're just going to come right back to the top.
Fiend's Gate. Still a minute without Zeal. They're fully healed up, so they do not mind that they're pushing back into this potential of the Sven. They know they've still got the number advantage against PSG.LGD right now.
How long on Song? 20 seconds. Q looking to try to whittle it down with mines, but it gets cleared out, the Timber.
Still a hard one to commit on this Timber Saw.
Yep, he's hit 25, so he has the double chakram now.
He's massive.
Damage has literally more than doubled now.
Sort of slowly whittling down the racks around him, though. The melee and the range both low.
They're making I think Talon's making the call for Roche. That is a absolutely crucial one as well, too, with the refresher shard at this point.
Who are you giving the refresher shard to?
Oh, I mean,
probably
could be the Naga or the Disruptor. Those are probably the 2 biggest ones.
Disruptor, right? A couple of Ag Static Storms from Ollie could be game ending.
Double BKB though.
Because he's got the blink as well, so he can get that good positioning.
Probably for the Disruptor, but I wouldn't even put it past putting it on 23.
Just on 23.
But maybe he just doesn't have slots at this point to even carry it, because double BKB, double Sol is massive this game.
He can still try and play with it or get the Aegis instead of the BKB, and then the Aegis goes, get the BKB and put the BKB, swap with the refresh, and then put the BKB back in.
What?
We'll see if 23 feels fast on the fingers today.
What's it going to be?
I'll definitely take the Aegis. Does he want the shard? Nice, you give it to Makoto.
I feel like he's going to pass that one up, right?
I feel like yeah, there we go. Okay. Ollie.
That's fine. I mean, either one is the ideal ones for the Naga or the Disruptor.
I mean, because now you've got the potential, right, to just sort of lay them down at the same time. They don't have to be grouped up. Song of the Siren into kind of 2 split Static Storms.
And TS trying to lead the charge. X.
They're cautious about how heavy they go on this team. So
he's got Bloodstone now too, so he's got big full heal elements. Lanes are going to slowly push in from the sides, bottom and mid.
They've got to take these fights smart, and that does not include going in on a Timber.
No, not the target you want. These situations are crazy. How is Planet doing on his Wind Waker? Because that is the only save, of course, versus this Static Storm kind of combo.
He's close.
He's close.
But it will mean no buyback for him.
It feels like a point where you have to commit for the items, though.
Absolutely. Especially when some of your cores, like Zeal right now, he doesn't have buyback available. You've got to risk your own buyback to save the potential of your cores being out without buyback.
Actually, I'm checking a couple things. Range 550. Auto code. mean, it depends on his positioning. It's going to have to be pretty perfect in order for him to save people versus the Song Static Storm. It's 1,400 radius versus like 1,000 radius of the cast range from Wind Waker with ult.
Jabs.
Jabs.
Trying to get some sneaky plague walls in around the backs.
I mean, oh my God.
Goodness!
They see everybody.
They grouped up big time, Ollie. He's heading over.
Oh my God.
They're going to be able to get the 3-man Axe Static Storm in, trapping them and catching the big one, catching Shiro. He's out of the game.
They got
3
them all.
dead. They're immediately coming in with the buybacks, but now nothing to say. He's surrounded by Talon. He's trying to get out of this. He'll put the BKB, the Shiva's got the Bloodstone. He's healing up a bit. But there's no zeal for this one. They've taken out Ollie, but Ollie, he's already done his job. He doesn't need to do anything more on this one. The buybacks continue to fly out here from PSG.LGD. Shiro, he'll put the BKB.
Big damage.
Turns towards Makoto. He's taken down one. Now he'll look towards 23. 23 getting burst slow, but he's got the Aegis. He's going to be back for round 2. Why are you smiling, Planet? They'll look over towards Jabs. Jabs. He'll get taken out. Can they do 23 a second time after the Aegis? He'll put the BKB. He's going to go for the TP out. BKB, TP, 23. He'll make it out of there. I mean, PSG.LGD, they are able to strike back, but they have to spend 3 buybacks to be able to punch back there at Talon. A very expensive fight for PSG.LGD. And just the setup, the play forward down. They've got the vision, the song, into the Static Storm. You ain't ever coming out on top of a team fight that starts like this, folks, if you're PSG.LGD.
I mean, everything connects perfectly. That was absolutely beautiful.
And the double, just being able to throw that second one down onto nothing to say. So he, whilst he was split from the team, he still, the sort of entrance into the whole fight was slowed down massively. But
he doesn't die on the Timber. He actually just completely full heals from his Bloodstone and everything like that. So he did not have to use buyback.
He can still survive through everything that they throw at him. The rest of the team, not so much.
Still a game to be had.
It is, but now a very scary point for PSG.LGD because these buybacks, they ain't there. One more fight like that, and it will be game over for PSG.LGD.
Absolutely. What does Nothing to Say want to buy? That's the next question. I mean, he's got his Wind Waker queued up, but he's like, I don't even have items to get rid of. I gotta eat my Aghanims and get this.
There's only so much you can do as this Timber. He's trying his best.
I like how they tipped 23 for that one, by the way, also. I think Jabs deserved a tip. That's like the Ven Award to win the game. Just like, beep, gotcha. I mean, this song obviously catches all of them, which is good positioning from 23, but Jabs gave the vision. Give the credit to the Veno, who's being the sacrifice for most of this game.
Well, let's have a look. PSG.LGD, they've managed to play their way through some very tough positions that they've been put into this game.
It's an absurd
This is definitely
recovery.
the hardest position they've been put in right now.
No buybacks.
One more catch here with the Song and the Static Storm, and it'll be over.
Still no Wind Waker on Planet either.
Refresher orb on Shiro.
Okay. Did he sell his... I think he sold his Harpoon? Yes, he did. Okay.
Yep. Of course, spending up. Again, it is him, Planet, and Why You Smile that do not have the buybacks right now. Zeal, he's 30 seconds off his.
Okay, he's going to be very... I mean, he's just on the edge with the mana, but he's got a Chakra. But he'll have enough, at least for the double. And the way he'll stagger.
Sure.
He should be able to have it. On Shiro, that is.
And they're watching Talon.
Push is starting to come in. They have the numbers.
And they have to ignore this Timber.
Clips him away. Illusions are clearing things out.
Zeal's maybe looking for an RP. He's going to get jump. He gets him with the jump skewer.
Song.
The Song's there though.
It's on
They're
Zeal.
Stepping up. We'll see who they can catch in this one. They're going to look towards Zeal. Ollie's in with the Axe Static Storm and drop it down onto Zeal. And Zeal's getting focused. Shiro, he jumps into this. He's going to jump into the Axe Static Storm to try and fight.
Shiro?
I mean, can he find a target out of this? They're starting to split Talon.
They're kiting him.
Ollie's going to get found by Nothing to Say. Nakoto is trying to get into this Speeds Gate, but they've got him.
Okay.
They get the two of them. The defense is there again. This time round, it's the buyback of Zeal they have to use. They will push back Talon.
Nicely done. I mean, that he's the one that does have it, so them going for him, maybe not the most ideal situation there for Talon. And Shiro, he was patient. He didn't use the refresher. He actually only used BKB God Strength to 1 in order to get these type of kills.
And a very risky way to enter the fight, jumping into the Axe Static Storm.
Yes.
I could have gone horribly wrong, but Shiro, he was in control.
And Nothing to Say. Yep, now he's got his Wind Waker.
So ways to say.
Can we get damage numbers up again by any chance? I want to see what Nothing to Say, how much he's been able to actually do, because it feels like it's been
he's survived
pretty heavy lifting in most of these fights.
Look at that, 44,000 damage.
Techie's still the highest.
Techie's at the top though, Q.
Oh my god. Still an unbelievable recovery overall and throughout all stages of the game here from LGD, with Talon just having mostly full control in this game.
It's 4 buybacks, though.
4 buybacks.
All on cooldown. Talon, they have all of theirs.
It's soon going to be time for them to force the fight. Dagon now finished up for Why You Smile. Okay. So another way to clear out these illusions instantly. Just prevent this push. How's the Aghanims looking on 23? He still needs some time. That's another element, and of course is going to cause some issues versus the BKBs of the Sven. Just hold them in position. Keep clicking around and checking also to see, I don't know what the Lotus situation is. I see one greater healing. They don't have enough. They're not even close still. Too many things going on to focus on that.
Another Hex thrown into the mix. Cute.
Okay. A on disc as well too from earlier. So much disable.
Nothing to say, no. Because he feels he can go where he wants on the map.
Okay. They have a Nullifier actually finished onto Mikoto as well now. So these Wind Wakers probably not going to be able to help at all either. So now they have Ag, Static Storm, and Nullifier. So there actually is no way to save heroes if they get caught inside of it. They'll just have to naturally tank through it, which I think Nothing to Say still potentially can, as we've seen.
More damage here for the squad. 50% atrophy allied hero bonus.
Okay, yeah, he's at 25.
The one here for Mikoto this game.
Not really the biggest of deals unless you get consecutive kills in the fight, which if they even get a couple, even if they get like 1 or 2 in this one, the game is over at this point because of the lack of buybacks.
But they're waiting it out nicely at PSG.LGD. A minute and a half, and buyback situation will be rectified.
Roche in 30.
I mean, they're looking for a fight now, but as I say, this is still within this very risky last minute.
I mean, Why You Smile is just farming creeps, farming illusions. Yeah, Roche, 20 seconds.
They're going to go straight for it.
Okay. Could give them an element to be able to protect for potentially here.
I mean, yeah, Talon, no, they're also heading immediately up to this area as well. They'll even be able to pick up an Arcane Rune on Q on the way.
Shiro shows himself as well on the wave. LGD now feeling afraid themselves. Who gets the catch? Nothing to say.
They're trying to step up to the high ground. They're really doing their best to try and just ignore the Timber Saw. Throw a Hex down onto him, and a second one as well. They do not want to go on Nothing to Say.
Crucial moments, 30 seconds until the buybacks are back.
And they've done well, PSG.LGD. Surviving through these moments.
The lanes are starting to push in though. Double catapult in the bottom wave. Nothing to Say has to back up to deal with it. They have recall though. They have a way to bring him back with Planet. Talon trying to reclaim the area over here. Get rid of these wards. And Roche, yeah, it's on the menu.
They could go for it themselves, Talon.
And that's another refresher shard for Ollie.
We saw what he did last time with it. Such a strong bonus to have. And already as potent of a support hero that he is at this late game stage.
LGD looking to come back in here.
They're heading over.
Roche does not die that fast at this point. It's incredibly tanky. They scout TS.
He can just throw himself in.
He is. He just takes the Watcher in front of them.
Easy Watcher play. Oh, jabs. Oh my goodness, he's out with the BK. Out with the time now. The Storm's there. They've caught the 2 cores. Ollie is ready with a 4. There's the Ecstatic Storm down on the boat. Nothing to say. And Shiro. Shiro's going to get Wind Wakered up into the air. See if it's enough to save, and there it is. And straight back down into the Hex. Shiro's gone.
He's got
5 buyback seal. Look at the RP off onto the 2 of them. Skewers across. They're bringing Mikoto down. Like 23 still full HP. He's kiting out the side. Shiro jumps forward. Finishes on Mikoto. 23. He'll TP out of there. Shiro, he gets glimpsed back to base.
Oh my.
But nothing to say.
Every call again.
See if he can still finish off jabs. He's chasing out the Venomancer with the Shaxmans flying out. He'll find him. Jabs, he'll buy back.
Mikoto does not have buyback. He's 150 gold short. This is actually huge. I mean, Planet, he's just recalling his buddies in constantly. Shiro buys back, gets recalled, gets glimpsed, gets recalled.
Can they finish off Roche here, PSG.LGD?
There's a minefield sign.
Yeah, he's holding the area with this minefield sign.
Oh my god, Zeo takes like almost 2,000 damage.
You do not want to be walking into this pit, unfortunately, right now if you're PSG.LGD, but Shiro's going to put the BKB. They're going straight for Ollie. Get rid of this disruptor. They'll get him. Ollie has got buyback, uses it straight away for Q. He's been found in the trees. Q, he'll jump up with the BKB. He's there for Shiro. He turns, takes down Q.
That's the second BKB and second God Strength from Shiro, though. Buybacks are coming in. Still no Underlord. 90 gold till buyback.
Song in 10 seconds for 23. He's also got the Blink Hex available if he wants to jump in and find a catch. I mean, nothing to say he's hanging around, but PSG.LGD, they're sort of in a shape where they may not be prepared to fight. There's the jump. 23. Straight away, he's going to go for YU Smile. Further buyback, Mikoto. He's got it back up. He's Fiend skating over. They're controlling the Ogre for now. Roots down onto YU Smile. He's surrounded. He's out of the game. He's still got his buyback.
Shiro can't fight.
He's using it.
Shiro has no BKB. He cannot enter the fight. He gets recalled in, but he's like, I have to get the hell out of here.
They just have to concede Roche.
They do.
Here, PSG.LGD, they can't fight this anymore.
The buyback, it came up just in time there from Mikoto. A lot of buybacks being used from Talon, but they should be able to they will be able to secure this Roche.
Yeah, they'll get the Roche, but indeed, in terms of the buyback situation, they themselves now 4 buybacks on cooldown. Of course, PSG.LGD is still the main one. Gone on cooldown again here with Shiro buying back in that last engagement.
Absolutely. And 23 is now he's literally critical mass. A full Aghanims being purchased up. He's going to eat it. He has the Moonshot already. He literally is full slotted, and he has buyback.
And yeah, he's also got the money really to sort of, well, very close to having the money to be able to buy back, pick up the bots or such. If there isn't sort of a Fiend's Gate laid down by Mikoto to allow him to re-engage on the fight, which we will have to look out for. There's definitely a chance that will happen as well.
They're really trying to hold on to this Ogre buyback, but it feels like he might just have to use it for the defense. I think he will. They've
got to have everything for this defense. 23 and the rest of Talon, they'll probably go pretty hard here with this high ground push.
They give the Aegis, of course, to Mikoto because he doesn't have that buyback.
Okay.
NTS, the unit, high-fiving them still at this point.
So still feeling very restrained in how they look towards going on a Timbersaw. They know that this is not the way.
No. The Rex, I mean, they can't whittle it down. It's not an option with these Naga illusions.
They have to full force the fight.
They'll actually, I mean, maybe the Ogre will be able to hang on to buyback. He's got the Philly Stone, of course. They constantly keep putting these Philosopher's Stones into their bags.
And nothing to say, just this kind of impenetrable wall. Talon still struggle to get past.
I believe, what, 25 was also hit by 23 in the last fight. He was actually one of the later cores to actually get it in this game. Waiting for their side lanes to push in, though. It's double siege waves. So mid, double siege, bottom, double siege, starting to enter. And I think what Shiro did buy the Swift Blink now at this point, too. So a bit of increased DPS. If he's able to get the hits off.
Radiant are scanning.
Tier 5 items coming out.
Tormentors double respawning as well, and yeah, let's see.
Why? They're all opted, but a couple of them opted for the Force Boots in.
Why? Fiend's Gate, he gets away. I mean, Force Boots are insane at this point of the game. Dispel that it applies, being able to use it on allies and everything too, and it's just a free slot of boots. So the Naga Siren, of course, is definitely a good pickup for 23.
Easy for him to stay on targets now.
Yep. I mean, even the health, it's everything. I mean, see, honestly, Force Boots I feel like have always been incredibly underrated. .25 being hit, Q, he's also gotten it, so probably his mind's pretty much instantly detonate now if he gets a connection. How many did they get, actually? 1, 2...
Just the 2, right, so far.
All right. Shiro, oh, that's a big one. He gets a Pirate Hat, so the gold will increase, and now he has, I mean, the attack speed is ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, will mean that there's a high chance that his teammates can buy up their next item.
Oh, man. And nothing to say, gets that Giant's Ring. Big boy Timber.
He really is the raid boss here that sort of is blocking Talon, stands between Talon and progressing here.
This game could continue for some time, or end in a matter of a second here, depending on if the catches happen.
So you're also picking up a Giant's Ring, a couple of Giant's Rings now.
Okay.
They're big boys.
Yep. Song.
Gonna try it.
Blinking.
They can find.
They found Shiro. Do they have the catch though?
Fiend's getting over.
He's here.
He's in. There's the Ecstatic Some of the Wind Waker's there.
Nullifier.
He's up in the air, but the Nullifier gets laid down upon him. 23's been stewed off to the side, but still they can take Shiro out.
Shiro's gone.
He's gone. No buyback on him. See if this is going to be enough for Talon to clean up the rest of the fight. There's nothing to say. He'll desperately try to push Q back. He'll turn towards Mikoto. Zeal tends to have a grab onto Mikoto, won't find it.
It's only nothing to say at this point to provide any damage. They're just going to kite him around.
4 versus 5 here on the defense.
I mean, 23, what a jump.
Yeah, just goes straight in. I mean, he knows that as long as he sees that Sven, backup will come in and they'll kill him. There's nothing that PSG.LGD can do to save anyone caught by that combo.
They refreshed, so 23, he's got another song set up. They also found an Ex Machina on Q, so he also has his refreshed abilities and hexes.
And Ollie's still with that shard, so he'll have a second static storm. He'll have the first one in 20 seconds. They're going for the backlines. They're going for the killable heroes. They found the hex. But the hex.
It's on Ollie.
Nothing to say. He's able to get the hex out towards Ollie. Ollie, he'll still find the chance to lay down the static storm. But this time, Zeal is out of it to the side. Doesn't matter. Hex is down to Zeal. Zeal, he'll buy back here immediately for the defense. 23 turns towards YU Smile. They'll lay down the Will-O-Wisp, but YU Smile's out of the game. Another buyback to come out here from PSG.LGD. 23 is considering looking towards the barracks. Zeal, he's in with the jump, tries to shear back. And the hex down onto 23 as 23 backs off away from nothing to say. Nothing to say. Turns towards the squishy kills, looks towards Q, won't be able to stay on top of him. 23.
Kodo's on the rack.
He turns with the hex, he's up with the Wind Waker, but Kodo's trying to get the mega creeps, trying to finish on the objective, but they've caught him, they bring him low, he'll get another set up with the root. 23 and Makoto back in for the fortifications there as PSG.LGD keep the racks alive a little longer. Zeal, he'll skew away from Jabs, the stun out fire blast from YU Smile over towards Jabs. Jabs getting blasted down low. 23, he'll finish off the barracks, but he's too dead on Talon without buyback.
Can 23 get out?
The hex steal. He's got the RP back up. They look over towards 23. He's getting caught into the base. They'll get another pullback with a Will-O-Wisp. 23 caught by the sleeve. He'll get caught by the stun. 23, he's out. As PSG.LGD, the mega creeps are out against them, but they get the kills to hold and buy time for Shiro to get back in the game in 5 seconds.
And they absolutely can hold versus megas. They have the heroes to be able to clear these creeps constantly. We still have a game on our hands, even though Talon has a clear access to victory now.
Absolutely, you know, PSG.LGD, they lose this series, they are going home. They are putting their everything into holding on in this game too.
I mean, nothing to say is doing it. He did 17,000 damage in that last fight, Owen. This Timber's, 16,000, sorry, but look at the spell usage. I see what, like 20 chakrams being used, 5 hexes, etc. Insane stuff, and now down the mid, Shiro, with him being alive.
They want to try and force this, see if they're going to buy back out from 23.
Yep, try to get something here. Jabs does not have buyback for now himself.
Yeah, Shiro, buyback's back up, but he's short on the gold. He's 1600, he still has the pirate hat, right? So
yes, he's still digging.
Keep digging, get that money, get those bounty runes.
Oh, Ollie now, in another layer that could actually protect him, and there's that instant. He has Mirror Shield, so.
Nothing to say, he's caught by the hex.
Still can't deal with him though.
It's a fair bit of damage, they've already pretty much brought him down to half HP.
Trying.
Only considering how heavily they can go in onto him, but the Wind Waker's there, he's out of the base. Buying time though, and trying to do their best to protect the buybacks from having to be used from both Jabs and 23.
Shiro, God Strength #1.
He's going to push in.
He kills it fast.
Straight up to the tier 3. Fortifications there, though. They really don't want to use these buybacks, Talon. And I don't think they'll have to.
They don't have to. 8 seconds.
Q. Still by the hex, but the Eon Disc is up. And some return back the way of nothing to say. Again, they're playing around with this Timber. Static Storm will be dropped, but again with the Wind Waker, he's out. Not able to shut down quite quick enough with the Nullifier.
Nope. He was able to get it off beforehand. They need to go back to base, though, for a second.
But the defense, this time achieved by Talon's 3 heroes, buys time, but no need for the buybacks to be put into play.
Intense moments here. How many? Yeah. Jabs 200 short. Zeal and Innocence are the only ones who don't have buyback at the moment. They would be the prime targets to catch at this point. Him and Shiro, of course. Shiro, though, does have buyback.
Okay. Yeah, back on now with that gold that he's been just reeling in with these constant pirate hat usages.
Everyone's rich. I'm just watching Q abusing the Ex Machina, of course, with his Aeon Disc and everything, just refreshing and refreshing.
See if they want to hold off for the next Roshan. Hit Talon.
Let's see what the timing is. It's a long one.
It's going to be nearly just 3 minutes until Roche is back up again this game.
Whew. A little bit of a slowdown here.
Planet Hill up for the Pirate Hat as well. Just wants to get more gold for the squad, allow the team to continue kind of pick up their 7th slotted items and still have money for buyback.
These talents are pretty cool. I haven't seen, of course, like every single one of these 25 talents being put in until this game. This Veno one is actually kind of neat. Noxious Plague Aura reduces 200 attack speed. Actually quite a lot.
It's a lot.
Everything is still up to initiations, though, as we've seen over and over and over again about the Static Storms. This NTS, he's just untouchable. Literally the richest Timber I think we've ever seen.
12, 4, and 13. Doing his everything here to to allow PSG.LGD this chance to prolong this game outcome and turn it around to potentially be in their favor and find these opportunities. You know, it really is down to the point in these games where a bad fight into a buyback and a dieback,
you could just lose.
It's game over in an instant.
Even if there's megas.
Yeah, for either side.
Yep, they can both fight back through them. Shiro, is he gonna commit? He's thinking about it. He's probably deciding, like, what do I even get rid of at this point?
I guess he doesn't need to have the refresher on him all the time, right? He can backpack.
True, he can backpack and move it around for the nullifier.
But yeah, at the moment doesn't have enough for nullifier and buyback.
No. And of course has to watch out, because if he nullifies versus this mirror shield, it could get reflected onto him and blah, 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 blah. I mean, there's so many different layers that are going to be coming out here. The mine's being set up. Q, he's setting up to make sure that they get this Roshan in the next minute.
Now we'll see, I think 23, what's he picking up? Is he...
Just another moon shard to feed to somebody, I guess.
He wants to give it to Makoto. He just did, right?
Yep.
Yep. I mean, Makoto's got this AC, he's got this Abyssal.
He's going to be hitting hard.
Yeah, he's going to be hitting hard and fast to get those bashes.
That's true. Very true.
We'll buy up for the nullifier now. Has enough to maintain his buyback on top of that nullifier purchase. Actually, no, I said, wait, did he just buy it?
He got rid of his MKB.
He sold something, right? Sold the MKB.
Yeah. Feeling like he doesn't need it. There's no butterfly anymore on the Naga Siren.
That is true, yeah. It's been swapped out the inventory for 23.
Yep.
Now the question is, when you see it settled, is there any sort of big brain play to be had with going back and rebuying the butterfly? I mean, is there?
I mean, honestly, maybe. But
you know what I mean?
Items doesn't feel like it's going to be...
MKB.
Items don't feel like they're going to be the absolute everything.
I guess that, because yeah, they're getting so much money, because they're literally running what, double Pirate's Hat.
Yeah.
I mean, how much GPM is that? That's a lot of money, right?
You could
using it off cooldown.
At this point, they're each worth each dig is worth like 1,000 gold. So let's say it's probably like 2,000 gold every time they dig.
It's a lot of money. So yeah,
they double.
They can change up their items, much more flexibility. PSG.LGD with the amount of money that they're fueling themselves with.
It's up. Moving. It's being trapped from the kinetic field. And LGD, they're making the move over. Planet does claim both of these runes. I mean, he's hit 25 for a while, but 27 is now claimed.
Zeal will pick up his refresher.
Okay.
Dire are scanning.
I mean, that is the buyback committed from the Magnus.
23, he's got a pre-casting the song. He's ready to put the song!
He gets 3.
Oh, he's got the 3 of them!
The Fiend's coming in!
The setup's there for 23, Ollie steps in! Agstatic
my lord!
2 jumps forward as they're going all in onto Shiro! Shiro's out, he'll buy back immediately, but both the supports are taken out immediately afterwards, and now they can look for more hit Talon. There's no Ogre for 2 minutes, nothing to say, completely isolated from the rest of PSG.LGD, and that may give Talon the chance to try and go for him. He's still going to be very tough to take down. They're in with the Hex, the rest of PSG.LGD wait to make their way down the lane, and Shiro's in with the BKB and the God Strike. He's going to look straight towards the Sven. He's got the Hex out onto this. The Song's there, and the BKB, it's about to come to an end. Shiro, he's got to run. They've got the vision on him, the Thunder Strike's there. Will-O-Wisp blade down, holds 23 back. Shiro, he gets glimpsed back straight into the midst of the wall. They surround the Sven, see if they can keep the Sven alive in any sort of manner. Nothing to say in Planet. They've got nothing left to save Shiro with, as it's a dieback for Shiro, out for 2 minutes.
Oh, 23, what a setup. Mikoto has the Fiends Gate, everybody's right on top of them. It gets all 3, and Jabs in the meantime on the sideline. He's just poking the Magnus. Zeal can't even get in for an initiation. They've got this, Roche.
And they may have got this game now.
They might have.
100 seconds, no Shiro. A huge element of the damage output that PSG.LGD have needed to get any sort of kills in these crazy late game team fights. It's not going to be there.
They've got the numbers. Who's getting what? Sure. The Ags now, I believe Mikoto does pick it up, right? I think it was on him. Yeah. Ags and Aegis on him. Jabs. 23. Running it down the lane. A 12 slotted or whatever slotted Timbersaw. Still hasn't died in about 45 minutes.
He's doing everything he can, nothing to say. He really has. He could not be giving it anything more this game.
But they're ignoring him in a lot of the fights too. They literally are just full committing for Shiro. I mean, he can't prevent so many things from happening.
Again, 23 just gets him with the song, goes straight past him. They look for the kills they know they can get. They get on top of the Ogre. Agstatic Storm's going to be there. Jump forward.
They Hex Zeal.
The Will-O-Wisp is laid down. See, can Zeal get any sort of... Maybe get a skewer back. There's the RP. Oh, the skewer.
It gets stopped by the kinetic.
He's going to try and play it aggressively outside the base. Why you smile? It's getting taken out. He's back out for 2 minutes. No buyback on him. The Ancient, it's exposed. Fortifications there for PSG.LGD, but it's only going to last so long. Talon now push on 23. He's going to get caught. No, so Mikoto and 23, they actually get dragged back into the fountain. Mikoto, he's dying to the fountain here.
Aegis.
He's got just enough life to survive. He'll get back on to looking towards the Ancient. They take Zeal out. It's 4 dead on PSG.LGD. They've got very little left to defend with. A Zeal, he'll buy back, but Talon alive with the fourth, and they focus down the Ancient. They're looking forward to getting out of this game and moving on in the lower bracket as GG is called. Talon, they take game 2 here, 73 minutes in, and a 2-0 knock PSG.LGD out of the competition.
Holy shit, what a game. I mean, SEA Dota at its finest. This is when they thrive. 70 minutes, 23. How many times can he catch 3 or 4 heroes inside these static storms? These sleeps were perfect. The follow-up as well. You see the faces of LGD. I mean, NTS, that was the most impressive Timber performance I think we've seen in ages, but they ignored him so much.
They did. Just the way that Talon played his late game fights, as you said, that was amazing. This is what they play for. These are the moments that they love. And yeah, 16, 2, 17, 23, having looks like kind of all avenues covered at the end. He was sort of the carry, he was the setup, he was the everything. The follow-up was there around him. And this combo, they just executed so well.
They really did.
They really do. And multiple times, finding 3, sometimes even 4 heroes in those last moments there with the Song into Static Storm. It was just too much for PSG.LGD here today as Talon. What a series for them, and I'm very much looking forward to see their run continue in this lower bracket as they've got to be prepared for this team. There's something about them, and especially when they get out in front of the crowd, I think Talon, they're going to have the potential to continue popping off in this lower bracket run.
I would love to see games like these in front of a sold-out arena. Oh, something is just so special about Dota that goes this late, gets this crazy, and I can't wait to talk about it together with my panelists. I'm joined by Jenkins, PPD, and No-Till. All of you predicted that Talon would take this game. I doubt, though, that any of you was predicting the game would go this crazy. And we got a 73-minute game. The hot top play here almost was fatal at minute 48, but they held on for so long, Peter.
Yeah, this game was all over the place. Lots of back and forth. Talon off to an incredible start. LGD with an awesome comeback. And then towards the end, I don't know, we kind of got up from our chairs at least 3 or 4 different times thinking that the game was over, but it kept going. And unfortunate loss from LGD, but great win for Talon fans.
Great win for Dota fans, I think, as well. Unfortunately, indeed, for PSG.LGD, the end of the road, but No-Till, seeing them play like this, they definitely put everything out here.
Yeah, I was more so impressed with LGD being able to kind of keep their cool. I think the game looked really hard after the laning phase, and they managed to bring it back, and then they also found ways to kind of continue fighting throughout the game. I think there's a lot of fights where it comes down to super small moments. There's one fight where he's sleeping off the Sven and the Timber BKBs and goes into the sleep, and I think these types of calls or these types of reads on the fight are kind of what kept them alive. I think it was way more chaotic than it should have been. I think Talon, they had the lead, and they probably would have been able to make the game look, smooth, easy, and stable till the end. But this is also what Dota asks of you. You have to, keep your tongue in your mouth, and you have to stay focused, and you're not allowed to mess up. Lots of small decisions went into this game. I don't think it was a clean game by any means, but it was a very nice game to watch. Very entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Talon is the most structured SEA team, but they're still an SEA team. This is why we say you can't go late game against SEA. They know what to do in these situations where we were talking, it's like, okay, what item should the Naga buy? What item? And it's like, well, everybody has infinite items, pretty much, other than the supports, right? So, no single item decision would make or break the game. It's basically, who gets the initiation, who makes the right, one choice. Everybody has, a full build completed, essentially. I do think the Nullifier was really smart against the
double Wind Waker.
The double Wind Waker. That made it so that the Disruptor ulti could continue to be really impactful in the late game. I think the Naga Blink Dagger was very impactful as well. Yeah. Whether he was able to use Song as a blink setup rather than songing in and then walking in. It's get that instant initiation, and it's just so devastating.
I really feel like the Sven missed his harpoon, or the old Superman stun. I don't even remember if is that still the Axe?
Yeah, I think it's the Axe.
Because he needed something like this when he switched into Silver Blade. Was it Shadow Blade? Yeah. The operator one?
Silver Edge.
Silver Edge, oh my god. And he had the blink. You could still see in the fights, like once they found him, he couldn't hit anything. He couldn't move anymore. I think he needed something else to actually have more of an impact in these late game fights, but it's a terrible Sven game, to be fair. Like,
it was hard. It was really hard.
It was a hard game for all of PSG.LGD, but we have to we highlight the positive, of course, for Talon, but we also have to highlight the exit of PSG.LGD, and that is why Y is standing by with Slacks.
Thank you so much, Shiver. Of course, I am here with YU Smile and Jack translating. Thank you so much for joining us and taking time out. So, question one, just very honestly, you know, that series did not go your way. That last game was incredibly long, and you guys fought with all your hearts, but what went wrong that series?
就是当然Y 队谢谢你接受采访。就是这场比赛当然很激烈，打得很焦灼。第二场就是打的时间很长了，你们努力奋斗下，最后还是失败了。那想问一下，就是那场你觉得出了一些什么样的问题或什么失误，可能导致最后没能获胜？
肯定线上篓子比较大吧，然后并且没有我们很好的应对，然后在线上几分钟的时候没有跟。就是辅助之内的调整不够好吧，然后到中后面可能大部分也没有什么太大，可能相对于对面，可能我们寻找机会的耐心或者说寻找机会的时机不够好吧。
It's probably mostly in the lanes. The lanes didn't go too well. The coordination between the supports wasn't too good. And then once it got to mid and late game, like I would say, the patience and the coordination wasn't as good as it needed to be. And so it just got harder and harder.
All right. Lots of fans out there hoping that you guys come back stronger and have another showing. What are you guys going to do to, you know, get over this and get back out there?
当然，你个人和老干爹在Dota 界内有好多粉丝，希望你能下次更强的来表现。那你们从这次比赛会总结一些什么？会去向哪个方向进步？
大体肯定还是没有足够找到每个选手在比赛期间，然后或者说被针对了，或者说在顺风逆风军事的时候，每个人对在比赛时候的定位都还不够清晰吧。就换句话说，我们还没有足够找到一个团队很好的方式去赢下游戏的一个方式吧。然后这个得通过在更多的看录像，或者说更多的失败吧，然后再进行总结吧。然后这次回去肯定会比下一次更好。
So I think during the matches, there's times when players are countered or have tough matchups that, you know, their role in the game might have to change a little bit. So we have to figure out how that works from game to game, situation to situation. We're going to have to go back and look at replays and, you know, figure out how to adjust when that happens, whether we're in a situation that's favorable or disadvantageous to us. And of course, we'll improve and we'll do our best to do better down the road.
All right. Well, thank you for taking time out. It was an honor, a pleasure. We can't wait to see LGD again. So thank you for taking time and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Y and Slacks. It is a tough time, but there are no highs without lows. So you got to take them to be able to come back, and I'm sure PSG.LGD will be able to make a comeback, but not at the Berlin Major, because it is Talon that is able to move on through the lower bracket here. And I want to continue talking about them because they performed amazingly well. We heard Y talk about the laning stage, and he contributed the loss. Yes, I know, a 73-minute loss, partially due to the laning stage. It's weird to still think back on that, but it did not go well for PSG during those lanes.
Both games. It was really rough start for both of them. I think it's something most Dota players will go through if you play long enough. Is oh my god, early game matters. Why is the game so hard? A minute 10 and stuff. So yeah, and I think in this game they were way more countered. I think in this game it's really hard for them to come out on top. Whereas first game, I think they had choices or chances like they could have made. But yeah.
This one, we already saw them starting on a bad start. We talked about the Ogre Sven lane was going to be tough, and they were playing catch-up for the majority of the mid-game, using stacks and everything to their advantage. But you are playing from the back foot, Jenkins, for the majority of the game, and that's never a place you want to be at.
Yeah, I mean, especially on this patch. I know, like, ironically, this game went to, like, 71 minutes. Once you get to that point, it's a little bit hard to talk about the early game, but, you know, in most games, like, the early game is the most important thing. I think they can look back at the replays and maybe see like, okay, how could we maybe use the portals better in these situations where we're lane countered? Maybe pick supports that are, you know, better at going through the portals. So that way, if you do get lane countered, at least there's some sort of response that you can make to, you know, getting lane countered. Because Ogre Sven, it's like, I don't see how you beat that against a Venomancer. Like, that just seems really hard.
It wasn't just the Venomancer, it was Venomancer techies. I think if you go 73 minutes into the game, one thing that we saw, especially one of the later fights around that Roche pit, the reason why Talon was able to take it is because they have Veno wards, and they got techies mines and wards. The vision game was insane.
Vision, yeah.
And the map is bigger, so you would think maybe vision is more important because you've got more ways to get to the locations. I don't know what if there's logic in there, Peter?
There's a lot of objectives that you want to, you know, go obtain as a team, and if you've got to run through a sea of techie mines and Veno wards, it's, you know, you're kind of already off to a bad start.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I've been watching 9 Pandas replays and seeing what they do with the techies is like they've shown this tech of being able to like one-shot the Tormentor at 20 minutes with techies mines, but instead Antares will put mines down to provide vision of the area, so that way he can also secure the wisdom runes and stuff like that. And then yeah, maybe he'll like 4 times mine the...
That Veno War scouted out the hot top play! Let's go, Jobs!
How did they all get down there in the first place?
I don't
always
even
the
know,
question.
dude.
Is the 3 triple songs he got, you know, towards the end of the game?
Yeah, he hit 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's a couple. Like this is
the
the
other
one I'm
one.
talking about. Like there's mines and wards everywhere. They were so well prepared.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's tough late game, right? You're playing against Axe Disruptor and Naga. It's notorious for many years as being one of the best combos, especially going later. As long as Disruptor Aghanims and the interaction with Sleep is like this, is always going to remain one of the best combos.
Yeah. Well, Jabs was definitely a man of the match. I mean, they all were, to be honest. But Jabs in particular, of course, leading the team from the offlane, and he's standing together with Slacks right now.
Jabs, Jabs, Jabs. Question 1 for you. You picked Techies Venomancer. What's wrong with you guys? What the hell's your problem?
I think we just want to win the lane.
Well, win the lane you absolutely did. That was an incredible match, going all the way into the overtime there. Did you expect that one to take so long to close out?
Not this long. And when we were playing the game, it's like, oh, suddenly it's like 60 minutes. So didn't expect it this long.
Yeah. Can you explain the experience of being a Venomancer at 72 minutes? How effective do you think you're being at that point?
I'm trying to like cast spell as much as I can, and at some point I don't know like what am I doing? Like, do I like do enough damage or something?
That is how a lot of people feel in those like super overtime games. I mean, now a big point of the new patch is more than one person can have the same 60-minute neutral. What do you think about that change? Does it dynamically alter Dota a little bit?
Yeah, it's kind of fun because when I already have a giant link on mine, and then I see Ollie have it, and then my one is kind of bad, and so I look at Ollie's screen, what is he has, and like choose that one.
Oh, yeah, you're copying homework. You're like, oh, yeah, I want that one. That's a good one.
I want that one.
All right. And last question. I mean, Timbersaw was absolutely massive that game. It looked like you guys just couldn't kill him, so you chose not to. You just went around him. Was this like the strategy? Did you guys have a discussion that just says, you know, just leave Timber?
I think when he plays the new ability,